Phillies again last night, a 4-game sweep against the NL East champs. Tonight, they open the final homestand against the Braves, who are struggling to maintain playoff position. Steven Strasburg is the featured attraction. It's Game 1 on Masson HD.
Washington Nationals baseball. Washington Nationals baseball.
Somewhere over on the other side of that rainbow is Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. The Nats conquered that for 4 nights, 4 games actually, over 3 nights, and now hopefully over that rainbow. Maybe at the end of it, there's a pot of gold with win number 77 and beyond. So the Nats, 10 of their last 12, 8 in a row at New York and Philadelphia. The ERA, untouchable. The opponents just not getting hits against the Nationals pitching staff right now. So here in the last week of the season, last weekend, all is well in Natstown. Bob and FP, Debbie along later. One of the best feelings about this ball club we've had all year. Why not?
Yeah, they've been playing well. They're coming off a 4-game sweep in Philadelphia, the first time they've been swept all season long. And yeah, a lot of good vibe around here. But you remember last time they beat Philadelphia, it was almost like it was the end of the season. So the challenge for the Nats tonight is to keep that momentum that they had built up in Philadelphia here against Atlanta tonight. And a good pitcher, Tim Hudson.
Yeah, Tim Hudson's been outstanding all the time in his career against the Expos and the Nats. And, of course, the Braves in a meaningful situation. 2-game lead in the wild card, but they have to face Steven Strasburg tonight, and we're looking for a game from him.
Yeah, and we saw a game last time out from Steven Strasburg. He was fantastic against the Marlins. We highlighted the matchup against Stanton. That fastball right there, a very smooth, a very easy 99 miles an hour. You see the 89-mile-an-hour changeup right there that struck him out the next time. So I saw some highlights of Steven Strasburg today last year against Dan Ugla on the MLB channel. I'm watching him this year, and to me, his delivery looks more effortless, more smooth, more in control. He looks stronger, more confident. And Davey Johnson said tonight there's going to be no pitch count with Steven Strasburg. He's just going to rely on what his eyes tell him. He doesn't want to paint himself into a corner with a pitch count. He's just going to let him go, and he's sick of talking about Steven Strasburg's injury. He wants Steven Strasburg to be treated like everybody else tonight.
13-year difference in the starters tonight. Strasburg now, career, making a 16 start. The ERA is outstanding. And they always say the last thing to come to a pitcher after major injury and rehab is command. Well, I would venture to challenge that when Steven's pitching because he's shown great command. He's not walking anybody.
And the battle for him, like any power pitcher, is to get that fastball down the zone early. But what the luxury that he has is he's got so much pop behind that fastball. He can make mistakes within the strike zone. The command has been great. He's been hitting his spots. He's been getting strike one with a curveball. Pitching to contact, and he's buying into it. I don't think it's going to be Steven Strasburg strikeout king anymore. I think we're going to see him go deeper into games the end of this year and next year by pitching to contact.
One key matchup to keep an eye on. Of course, we talked about a key matchup last time he pitched, and this time it's Dan Ugla. Strasburg pitched in Atlanta last year, and Ugla got some great swings and great results against him.
And the pitches that he hit were on the inner half of the plate. When Steven Strasburg tried to go away, you see what the target was? Down and away, he missed up and in, paid the price. Dan Ugla is a guy that's going to cheat on the fastball, and he's going to hit the curveball in. You see where that pitch is, up and out over the plate. So Ugla, a guy that's had some success against Strasburg. We'll keep an eye on that tonight. But for Steven Strasburg last year versus Steven Strasburg this year, he's stronger, his command is better, and he's not going to miss his spots like he did last year.
And you know what else? After watching those 2 swings, he's human. He's a young pitcher. Certain guys are going to give him problems. Hopefully, not too many of them. The Nats gave the Phillies plenty of problems. Roger Bernardina in the doubleheader, upper deck home run. Danny Espinosa goes 20 and 21 on the year with a couple of long balls, and Wilson Ramos opposite field. The Nats 7th in the National League. Their next homer will be number 150. tonight. We're going to be expecting a first pitch in about 10 minutes, scheduled for 7:15 tonight. And so some things are happening a little later. We have a wonderful parade of national flags on the field. And coming up, our national anthem.
Of our national anthem. Ladies and gentlemen, B.J. Wetstein.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
It has actually turned into a very nice evening at Nationals Park. Sun was out a little while ago, and we'll be ready for baseball at 7:15. The Nats and the Braves, more to set up the ball game. Straight ahead. To you by BMW, the ultimate driving machine, and by Verizon Fios. Fios, a network ahead. To learn more, visit verizon.com/getfios. Nationals and the Braves here in Washington 1 hour from now. St. Louis chasing Atlanta, trying to come back from a horrible loss at home last night, and they'll be taking on their arch rival Chicago. So the Nats are right in the middle of things in terms of having influence on the playoff race right now. All right, FP, coming out of Philadelphia, so many different stories. We talked about the home runs in the open, talked about the mindset of the team, but how about the results of Drew Storen?
I mean, you could pick a story out of a hat and they'd all be good right now, but how about Drew Storen, 24 years old, 40 saves, 2 in 1 day to get to 40. He's just been money all season long. His slider's been great, his fastball's been good, but the thing I like most about Drew Storen is when he does blow a save on occasion, he comes right back out the next day and gets the job done. So very heady, very mature stuff for a 24-year-old with a bright future.
It's unreal, some of the company he has stepped into Last 5 players, 24 and younger. 2 of them happened this year, and they're both in the ballpark tonight. Perez of Texas, Soria from Kansas City, and, of course, K-Rod. That's 5 years ago now for the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim. Great company for Drew Storen. And maybe another opportunity tonight. We can only hope. Ball game slated to start in about 5 minutes, slightly delayed by rain. We've got more coming up. We'll set up the lineups, first pitch, and everything ahead. Nats and the Braves. Win its 77th game of the year. Atlanta trying to win its 89th and at least keep their 2-game lead in the wild card. Visit Train.com for an independent train comfort specialist dealer near you. It's hard to stop a train. Quite muggy. Rain in the area all day, of course. 70 degrees. Very comfortable from that standpoint. Strasburg on center stage, and with more on Steven, here's Debbie Taylor.
Well, Bob, one thing about Steven Strasburg this season, he is in absolutely phenomenal shape. And earlier, I asked Davey Johnson about that. Davey's known him since he was with the Olympics and on the national team. Here's more from Davey.
There's no question about it. There's definitely no fat on that man, and he's a great athlete, and he's in great shape, and he wants to pitch. And I said earlier I don't have a pitch count on him, but I'm just going to let him throw until I think he's had enough.
Davey said, too, that he really feels like it's time to turn the page and treat Steven Strasburg as a regular starter. He's healthy, and he's going to just let him go out there and see what he can do. Bob?
Well, I think that's what we all want. We just want to see how effective Steven can be pitching deep into a ball game. And tonight, of course, it's a high-quality opponent. Playoff implications are taking place here in FP. If you can't be the team heading for the playoffs, you can sure have an influence on who does.
Well, I said it before. We always used to say it on the bench. Take them home with you. If you're going to be sitting on the couch, take them home with you. Let them watch the playoffs on TV. So, yeah, keep that momentum you had in Philadelphia tonight. And momentum's only as good as your next day's starter, and it's that big guy right there. So we'll see what happens.
Season series, Atlanta 8, Washington 7. They've split 6 games here. The Nats have dominated to a certain extent Atlanta here at Nationals Park. Braves 72 homers since the All-Star break, second in the league, and right now they're tied with Arizona for third overall, 169. And Jason Worth is tied for the most hits of anybody against Tim Hudson. Worth is 11 for 30, 3 homers and 10 RBIs against Tim Hudson. And then, of course, there's the wild card race where just after 7 o'clock last night, Freddie Gonzalez and his Braves got a big-time gift from the New York Mets. Ironically, a team in their own division helping them by beating a team in the Central Division. The Giants are still mathematically alive with 6 games to go.
You talk to the Braves people, and they're saying they can't catch a break right now. You know, Chipper Jones losing the ground ball in the lights the other night, a 2-run walk-off home run. Then Javier Vasquez throwing 7 shutout innings against the Braves. And now, tonight, Steven Strasburg. But you know what? Nobody said it would be easy to get to the playoffs. And if you want to get there, you got to beat a guy like Strasburg. That's part of it. It's big leagues.
Nationals take the field. Steven Strasburg shaking hands with some of our honored stadium employees here. And here comes the Braves lineup. Dan Uggla is the cleanup man. Hitting behind Bourne, Prado, and Jones is a very formidable first 5 hitters. And then a Rookie of the Year candidate in Freddie Freeman. Jack Wilson, the former Pittsburgh Pirate and Seattle Mariner, spelling Alex Gonzalez. And, of course, Jason Hayward, big-time popping at number 8 spot. So Uggla is the one guy you fear the most when the Nats and the Braves warm up and match up. And here's Steven Strasburg making his second career appearance against Atlanta.
Yeah, third start of this year. Last time out against the Marlins, I thought the best of the 3. 6 innings of 4-hit ball. He allowed just 1 run. He struck out 3 and he walked none. He threw 61 pitches, 45 for strikes. So fastball, curveball change from Strasburg tonight. We'll check out the defense that Davey Johnson has put out there for the Nationals tonight behind Steven Strasburg. Morse, Ankiel, and Worth in the outfield. Desmond and Zimmerman on the left side. Espinoza and Nix on the right side. And Wilson Ramos in the squat.
Veteran umpiring crew has been assigned to this weekend series. Jeff Nelson, 14th year, has the plate. Tim Cheetah, crew chief, 26th year at first. 13-year veteran Marty Foster at second. 12-year veteran Bill Welke at third base. Pat Corrales and Davey Johnson going over those lineup cards one more time. You know, maybe the most ironic thing about what happened to the Braves in St. Louis last night when they were actually here was that former Brave Rafael Furcal made a critical error for St. Louis, and it's been published today that he's not in their lineup tonight in their game against the Cubs. Very strange indeed how these things work out with ex-players playing with different ball clubs and things happening in a pennant race. So Freddie Gonzalez ball club 88 and 68. On the road they're 41 and 37. And he was the obvious pick. The Braves didn't really look around hardly at all to replace Bobby Cox. Michael Bourne will get things started for Atlanta. Hitting .281 since coming over to the Braves in 47 ball games. Third in the league in hits, 9th in runs. He's 0 for his last 7 as he steps in. Strasburg's waiting for him here. And because of the rain delay, first pitch 14 minutes late. We're underway at 7:19. Bourne hitting .296 overall with an on-base percentage of .349. Braves as a ball club 12th in the league at .245. They're 9th in runs. They are a power hitting ball club though with 169 home runs. Strasburg doing a little housekeeping, landing area, and everything will be okay pretty soon. Mike Rizzo told me this afternoon, hey, if it's good enough conditions to be playing a game, we know it'll be safe for Steven out there, and we have every confidence he'll be fine. Strike 2.
How about this changeup? Third pitch of the game. You're digging in. You're trying to get your bat head out on 98. Then you see a 90-mile-an-hour changeup that just drops off the table.
98 upstairs, 2 balls, 2 strikes.
And I think that's the pitch. It's going to separate Steven Strasburg from pretty much everybody else in the league. That changeup at 90. You got that in your back pocket. That'll make a hitter think. And there it is again, 89. I mean, that's just not fair for a hitter. You're sitting on 98. You're thinking about 99. You know the guy throws 100, then this. Whoop, 89, and you're way out in front. I mean, there's no way to hold up on that changeup. Looks like a fastball. You go to swing, it's not even there.
Martin Prado riding a 9-game hitting streak, 12 for his last 38. Strasburg now 12 strikeouts, no walks in just over 14 innings. Line drive, Espinosa got there, couldn't close the glove on it, and a base hit for Prado. He's aboard with 1 out.
And you know why he swung at the first pitch is because he saw those 2 changeups to Bourne. He said, I am not getting into a 2-strike count. And we've seen that be the game plan against Steven Strasburg in the 2 starts before this. The 3 starts before this, to where, you know, they're going to go first pitch hunting. I know he's got a good out pitch. It's a changeup. I know he's got a good out pitch. It's a curveball. So I'm not going to wait around and get to 2 strikes. I'm going to get him before he gets me.
Chipper Jones at 281. 1 for 2 against Strasburg when they met each other in Atlanta last year, and that's a fastball up. You can look where Rick Ankiel is playing and pretty much know how the Nats want to operate against Chipper. He's well offset to the gap in left center.
Chipper's been one of the only Braves hitting lately since August 18th. 33 for 102, 7 home runs, 14 RBIs, 324 average. It's a guy that's used to playing some pennant race baseball.
Oh, and that's Strasburg's first hook of the night, and he might have fooled Jeff Nelson with that one.
He did.
Looked like a strike.
This buckles Chipper, and it buckles Jeff Nelson. Watch him come up a little bit, thinking about calling a strike. Pretty good pitch.
Jones late for that 95, and the count's even 2-2. Another thing Chipper Jones has done lately for the Braves, it's not in play here, but with runners in scoring position this year now, he's at .354, second in the league, behind only Joey Votto. 2-2 pitch. Fastball just missing, up and away. Martin Prado has good speed, but he's only stolen 4 bases in 12 attempts with Ugla on deck. I'm sure he'd hate to lose a runner on a strike him out, throw him out.
You remember the last start against the Marlins? Steven Strasburg had 2 strikeouts in the first inning. They were both on 3-2 counts, and they were both on changeups.
3-2, runner is going. Chipper lines one, base hit, and the Braves will have first and third with 1 out. Big spot now for the Strasburg-Ugla matchup.
And so Strasburg decided to go 3-2 fastball right here, and Chipper Jones all over it. It was supposed to be away. It cut back in on the inner half. And Prado running, that was an easy first and third no matter what the conditions. Sure, a lot of people in St. Louis watching this at-bat, and a lot of people in San Francisco watching this at-bat.
The Nationals have never been more liked from coast to coast than they are right now. Dan Ugla hitting .231, 35 homers, third in the league. Only Kemp and Pujols have hit more. And a big-time rip at a 96 high fastball.
But it was away. It was good location. The highlights we showed in the open of Dan Ugla, the home run was up and in. I think the double was up and in too, so he's looking for the ball close to him, and that's why he stands right on the plate.
Ugla doesn't hit into that many double plays, only 9 all year. He's a fly ball hitter. 576 at bats. Well, you think back on that Chipper Jones at bat, the 1-1 pitch, the perfect breaking ball on which Strasburg did not get the call, changed that AB, and then Chipper took advantage later. So that was another one, and the count's 1-1. And a chopper foul, strike 2.
We got away with one right there. Fastball 94 right down the middle of the plate. And I'm watching Steven Strasburg on the mound. He's doing a lot of groundskeeping right now with his cleats. He's picking up the rosin after every pitch, and that tells me that he hasn't really settled in yet. He doesn't have a good grip on the baseball. The curveball he just threw Dan Ugla squirted out of his hand, so still trying to settle in and get comfortable out there right now.
One-two, and that's a flare into right center. Ugla's 79th RBI. Atlanta's on the board now with 3 consecutive singles. That ball not hit at all hard, but perfectly placed.
Let's check out the sequence from Steven Strasburg to Dan Ugla. First pitch is perfect. Fastball painted 96 on the black. You see him go for his hand right there after the curveball. That tells me that it slipped out of his hand, and then he goes fastball in right there. Nice job by a guy with 78 RBIs knowing what to do in that situation. Stay back, let the ball get deep, go the other way for RBI 79.
Convergence Technology, Citrix, experts with desktop virtualization. They bring us the pitch track. And your company can achieve efficiency and cost reduction. Call them at 301-860-1960 or visit convergencetech.us. Brian McCann looking for his 70th RBI. 2 for 3 against Strasburg in Atlanta last year. That's a big time rip on 96, and the count's 1-1.
I mean, every pitch so far tonight, he has fixed his landing mark, where his cleats are landing. About every other pitch, he's going back to grab the rosin. That tells me very humid night. Not feeling real comfortable with the mound or his grip on the baseball.
Ball 2. Reminiscent just a bit of Strasburg's first start on the road last year. Interleague game at Cleveland. Grounds crew got called out a couple of times to housekeep in front of that mound. He had all kind of landing problems on that afternoon. Now it's ball 3.
And there he goes again with his cleat.
Things like that can get into a pitcher's head too.
You can see the mud caking up on his cleats, but the tarp has been on the field all day. Grounds crew did a fantastic job once again getting this field ready to play as it rained all day long.
He always has that swing and miss capability. That was 95 upstairs, and the count's 3-2.
And there he goes for the rosin one more time. I wouldn't be surprised if he takes his sleeves off for the second inning.
With a runner at first and a 3-2 pitch on Chipper Jones. That was Prado. Freddie Gonzalez started his runner. He's got 2 aboard now. On a 3-2 pitch, they're holding, and McCann lashes it foul, right field side. Out of play, left side.
And going back to the cleat cleaner, then going to the rosin once again.
23 pitches already, 4 batters, and now 5 faced. 1 out. A run home, 2 aboard. And a swing and a foul tip, and the ball just falls out of Ramos' mitt.
A pretty good movement on this 96-mile-an-hour fastball going away from McCann. Just got a piece.
So 8 of 24 pitches right here to McCann. A guy who seldom strikes out 100 times in a season. That's number 85 as Steven jams him and McCann can't get to it. 2 down.
That's a good job of moving the fastball around. You show him one away, and then he's thinking it's going to be out there. And you drop one on the inner half, and McCann can't get to it. Good battle won by Strasburg. Let's see the extension out in front. And even in slow motion, that fastball looks fast.
Here's rookie Freddie Freeman having a very, very good first year. 20 homers, 74 RBIs, batting .286.
Good changeup right there. Where was that pitch?
Nats appeal to swing. Tim Cheetah said no. Actually, third base umpire Bill Welke says no. Where was the pitch? Man, that's 2 perfect pitches this inning called for balls. Swing and a drive. Espinosa can't get it. Chipper Jones around to score, and Atlanta leads 2-0 now with 4 first-inning hits.
Pretty good job by Freddie Freeman recognizing the changeup from Strasburg and staying on it and staying through it. You see the downward action of the changeup, and Freeman hit that like he knew it was coming. He wasn't out in front a bit. So a changeup from Steven Strasburg to Freddie Freeman, and he hit it like a fastball.
Several nights ago, the Braves got the first major league win from a young pitcher named Randall Delgado. For some reason, not known to us, he is warming up in the Atlanta bullpen. We're not sure if anything's going on with Tim Hudson. We'll try to find out. But Hudson, of course, scheduled to take the mound in the bottom of this inning.
That could be just a case of him throwing his side because it was raining all day today and he didn't have a chance to get outside.
Could be.
And that's something, Bobby, that you go look at in the video room right there. When you have a hitter in a count like that and he hits a changeup like a fastball, and you got a guy like Chipper Jones on second base for a long time right there, you start to scratch your head and say, why was he on that changeup at 89 like that? I mean, that was a great piece of hit, and he did a nice job of shortening his swing and staying through that. And that's probably the best swing we've seen on a Strasburg changeup so far this year.
Here's Jack Wilson, longtime Pittsburgh Pirate. Braves picked him up August 31st, not July 31st, from Seattle, with cash considerations for a player to be named later. And as a shortstop for Atlanta, he's 6 for 25 in 12 games. Hit .249 with Seattle. 11-year veteran. Strasburg with a very good breaking ball to even the counts. Hit hard, right through the Gold Glove third baseman Zimmerman. Another run scores. Hitter ends up at second. Freeman ends up at third, and Atlanta leads 3-0. Ball hit extremely hard. We're just so used to Ryan Zimmerman making every play over there.
And Jack Wilson all over this ball, just absolutely smoked it. And Ryan Zimmerman caught a little bit flat-footed. And we say flat-footed because we're watching it in slow motion. I don't know if he had time to move his feet. Bottom line, another run for the Braves.
Zimmerman's 12th error of the year. Number 8 hitter, Jason Hayward. And the fastball up and in, 1 ball, 1 strike. As now the pitch count is nearing 35 here in the first inning.
I guarantee you, when Tim Hudson saw this matchup today on paper, he never thought that he would get an at-bat in the first inning.
And a fastball up and in, 2-2. Well, not what the Nationals wanted here, coming home off of a 4-game sweep in Philadelphia, winning 5 in a row, 10 of their last 12. Long way to go in this one. And Strasburg will miss 3-2 with the pitcher on deck.
He keeps wiping his hand on his leg, going to the rosin. I just don't think he's had a good grip on the baseball this whole inning. Very humid night. You can see the sweat building up.
Third full count in 8 hitters. And Hayward will launch one to left center. Going back is Ankiel. Rick is at the wall. And the top of the first inning is over. 3 runs on 4 hits, an error. And the Braves put up a 3 spot. Three strikes in the top of the first inning. So the Nats bats will have to get busy against the very difficult Tim Hudson. Ian Desmond, 45 hits since the 19th of August, and as a leadoff man now for 35 games, he's hitting 300. Zimmerman, Morse, and Jason Worth now back in the lineup, batting 5th tonight. He has 11 career hits against Hudson. Lance Nix gets the call at first base, and Wilson Ramos the catcher. And here's Hudson, 13-3 career in 22 starts, and that goes back to the days of the Expos.
13-3 with a 1.95 ERA. His 376th career start. Last time out against the Mets, he pitched 8 shutout innings, allowed just 4 hits, had 10 strikeouts, and just 2 walks through 113 pitches. So fastball, slider, cutter, curve, change, split from Tim Hudson. He's 2-2 with a 3.81 in 4 starts this month. And the stat that I just can't wait to get to every time he pitches, it's probably the greatest stat in baseball. Maybe not so much with what happened in the top of the first inning, but 143-2 with 3 runs of support or more in his career.
It's ridiculous.
143-2 when he gets 3 runs. So I guess that means he's due.
He pumps first pitch 90 right in there to Desmond. Ian against Hudson, 7 for 29. Batting mark after a good series in Philadelphia. That featured 6 base hits, sitting at 250. And the count's even 1-1. Tale of 2 seasons for Ian. Has totally responded to hitting up at the top of the order, as opposed to maybe down in front of the pitcher. And a 1-1. Looks at the breaking ball, a beauty.
Davey Johnson was named the manager of the Nationals. He and Desmond went up to him and he said, "Davey, I don't want to hit 8th anymore." Well, Davey said, "You know what? Do something about it. Show me. You're hitting 227 right now. I can't just put you in the leadoff spot." So Ian Desmond, what did he do? He started raking in the 8 hole, and he went up to Davey and said, "All right, throw me in the leadoff spot, and I'll show you what I can do."
High chopper. Third base. Chipper Jones makes no effort on the ball whatsoever. Did he lose the ball in the lights? Did he think it was going foul? I've never seen a third baseman stand there and watch a chopper like that.
Well, what he can see and what we can't from here is the height of this chopper. Look how high this is. He knows as soon as it has that height. He's been playing third base for 100 years. He knows when that ball's that high, plus the speed of Ian Desmond, he has no chance. So the only chance he has right here is it has some side spin on it and kicks foul before it gets to the bag. I love that play. That's smart. That's heads-up baseball. He knows by the height of that ball that Ian Desmond is safe immediately, so why make a play?
Here's Ankiel. He takes a strike. And Desmond continues to collect base hits of all varieties. to left center, but it's carrying, and Prado is there to grab it. And Keel's been swinging the bat well, hitting the ball the opposite way lately.
Let's set the defense for the Braves tonight behind Tim Hudson. Prado, Bourne, and Hayward in the outfield. Wilson and Jones on the left side. Ugla and Freeman on the right side. And Brian McCann in the squat.
Jack Wilson, he's won a Gold Glove. He's won a Silver Slugger in his career. Always been a guy who's not flopping around, diving all over the place. He makes every fundamental play. And managers love having a guy like him, and so do pitchers behind them.
Came over from Seattle on August 31st.
Ryan Zimmerman takes one inside. 43 career at bats against Hudson, 8 hits, 2 RBIs.
See Hudson doing the same thing as Strasburg. He's throwing the baseball, wiping his hand on his leg. Now he's going behind the mound to clean out his cleats. Going to be a very muggy night here in Washington, and both pitchers having trouble gripping the baseball.
Yeah, you can see the landing area quite muddy. 90% humidity. And Hudson gets a generous call on 2-0.
Well, just a two-seam fastball running it back. And pitch track says it's a ball.
Games in New York already rained out tonight. Phillies at Mets and Red Sox at Yankees. Michael Morse is next, cleanup man here in the bottom of the first. Ryan on an off-speed pitch, gone, 2 outs.
And pretty good slider right here from Tim Hudson. 83 miles an hour. You see the rotation right out over the plate. And obviously Ryan Zimmerman looking for something else.
Michael Morse, the huge 3-run homer last night that iced the game for the Nats in Philly. He was 5 out of 13 in that series with a homer and 3 RBIs. He'll stroke that one to left, and in comes Martin Prado to make that grab. Long first inning, and it's 3-0 Atlanta. It's a 1 o'clock ball game as the Nats take on the Braves. Team poster giveaway. Limited supply of $2 tickets tomorrow and Sunday, and a food special, 2-for-1 hot dogs. Sunday, 2-for-1 Coca-Colas, and the Strasburg Strikes Again t-shirt giveaway presented by Geico. Go to nationals.com/fanalley while supplies last, and some restrictions do apply. Tim Hudson leads off the second. Hitting a $125 this year and 167 in his career. That ball's pretty well hit. It's going to back up a running Jason Worth, who loves to play opposing pitchers shallow. It's an out, and that's all that matters, and Steven needs to pile up some fairly quickly here.
Well, Hudson's always been a pretty good hitter. A center fielder in college. Pretty good swing right there. Good play by Jason Worth.
Bringing in Michael Bourne, got off to a pretty innocent start when Strasburg struck him out to start the first inning. Gets ahead here. Did he go? Bill Welke says no.
He struck Bourne out with a changeup his first time up. You remember Prado came up, first pitch hit. And Chipper Jones got a 3-2 fastball. And I think that's where it started getting rough for Steven Strasburg. But he threw some great changeups to Bourne to start this game off.
Right side, Danny Espinosa gets behind it, gets rid of it in a hurry. And 2 quick outs here in the second. That'll bring in Martin Prado. Talk about baseball being a game of inches, maybe 1 inch in that first inning. The difference between Espinosa gloving his drive as Danny really ranged quickly to his left and almost made a spectacular play. First of 3 straight hits, and then they would score 1 more in that inning.
It's funny how when guys make spectacular plays all season long, they have an unbelievable highlight reel. Then when they don't make one, you're shocked. And early in the season, when they make one, you're shocked. You're, oh, what a great play. And then we've seen Danny Espinosa do that all season long, to where when he finally doesn't make one, you're kind of having the same reaction we had early in the season when he did make one.
He's been outstanding. Demanding middle infield position, 14 errors as a rookie. That's 1 fewer than the veteran Dan Uggla has. Ryan Zimmerman gets a nice hop as he waited for that ball, and Steven Strasburg gets a 1-2-3 top of the second, with Worth leading off in a moment. Call Luna for up to 70% off fall flooring at 877-241 Luna. Shop smart, shop Luna. Here at Nationals Park, Dan Uggla continues to do damage, even more so now than he did as a Marlin. And we saw plenty of that.
He'll establish a new career high in home runs with 35. 33 was his previous best as a Marlin. So the power numbers are there for Uggla this year. The average at 231 going into his first at bat, probably lower than he wants it. But he came from 173 to 231. That's a pretty good rally.
Well, Jason Worth's been out of the lineup for a couple of days. Takes a big rip, and quickly it's 0-2 from Tim Hudson. Danny Espinosa to follow, then Lance Nix, bottom of the second. And Worth is gone on a pitch upstairs. So Hudson 4 in a row since giving up that high chopper of a base hit to Ian Desmond.
When Tim Hudson gets a lead, we've talked about it before, he just kind of gets on cruise control. He'll lull you to sleep with hitting corners with 90, 91. But the one thing he will do, and he always does with a lead, is challenge the hitter. He's not going to mess around. He's going to come right at you, make you swing the bat. Not going to put guys on for free.
Danny Espinosa's hit safely now in 10 of his last 11 games. Had his 10-game hitting streak ended last night. Trying to start another one. That ball hooks, and it's a fair ball at the 335 mark. And Espinosa cruises into second base. 21 homers, 5 triples, and now 28 doubles on the year.
There's something about when he plays the Braves and Freddie Freeman that it's almost like anything you can do, I can do better. You remember in Atlanta, he was stealing hits from Freddie Freeman. Freddie Freeman was stealing hits from him. So two of the best young players in the National League going head-to-head tonight. And Danny Espinosa gets a double to Freddie Freeman's single and an RBI.
Great swing. Here's Lance Nix. I would expect Nix to be attacking early in the count tonight because he doesn't want to get 0-2 or 1-2 and have to deal with Hudson and that nasty breaking pitch of his. So there's a first pitch 89 at the knees, and Lance takes it. 7 for 19 with a homer, 4 RBIs against Hudson.
And I think with the mound right now, and I'm watching Tim Hudson once again dig out the landing spot, go back to the spike strip behind the mound to clean up his cleats. It's just that clay, and when that clay gets damp, it starts to stick in your cleats. That's a great shot right there. You see it building up on the back of his cleats. Same thing with Steven Strasburg in the first inning. So the clay was sitting under the tarp all day. The moisture underneath the tarp made the clay even more sticky than it usually is. And guys, both pitchers, both starting pitchers, having trouble getting that dirt out of their spikes. And then when you land, your cleat doesn't give like it normally will on a dry mound. So you see Hudson going back there once again, putting the rosin on the ball, putting the rosin on his arm. And that's good for the batter's box. Guys like that when they're hitting. They like to feel that sticky clay under their feet so they don't move around. But on the mound, not the same thing because you're out there much longer.
0-2 to Nix, who's driven in 44 runs. And there's that devastating breaking ball in the dirt that strikes him out. 2 outs. It'll be up to Wilson Ramos if Hudson decides to pitch to him.
And that's the curveball from Tim Hudson. He only throws that curveball about 8% of the time, but you see it right there, 75 miles an hour. Just a little break to it, but it was enough.
Kinetic North America with a pitch track, providing world-class technology to our national and homeland security customers. Hudson likes it here. He pitched here April 3rd. 7 innings, 3 hits, a run. His other 3 starts against the Nats this year, all in Atlanta until tonight. Front door breaking ball for a strike.
There's two guys I can think of that I played with as teammates that if I had to win one game for all the marbles, who would I want on the mound? One is Pedro Martinez, and the other guy's pitching right now for the Braves.
Six innings or more, 27 of his 31 starts this year. 7 innings or more, 16 of his starts, more than half the time. And he's gone 8 or pitched a complete game 5 times this year. Durable. Comes in with 203 innings. And Ramos can't get that one. So Wilson Ramos gets a 2-strike challenge here with 2 outs. Waits for the breaking ball and taps it. It'll be foul.
Livan Hernandez and I were standing around the cage yesterday in Philadelphia, and we were talking about Tim Hudson pitching today, and Danny Espinosa came over and he said, FP, you played with this guy. What was he like back in the day? I said, well, in 2001, when he was my teammate, just imagine everything he has right now, but add about 4 or 5 mile an hour to it. So fastball 90, back in the day 94, 95, split. He used to throw it so hard it was devastating, just break off a table. I mean, you look at what he did back with the A's, 20-6 in 2000, 18-9 in 2001, ERA in the mid to low 3s. I mean, this is a guy that pitched 230, 240 innings every single season.
Yeah.
So now more of a pitcher than he was back then, but pretty dominating for a little guy.
Yeah, and as the Braves, as the A's started fading, he still won a lot of ball games, 15, 16, and 12 before coming to Atlanta. Because that ball club was at its peak when you were there, 2000. That was some club.
And I heard he's not even featured in Moneyball. How about that? I heard there's no Zito, Mulder, or Hudson in the movie at all.
He did not have high enough an on-base percentage in batting practice, or what?
Well, they were why we won, those 3, so I have no idea.
Yeah. Well, Hollywood has been known to embellish. Yeah, you can win some ball games if you have to only score 2 or 3 every night. And here at Nationals Park, 8 o'clock hour arrives. Long first inning for Steven Strasburg. Braves got 3 runs on 4 hits. There was an error. And they lead it 3-0. Nats are trying to get on the board here with Ramos. Danny Espinosa, a 1-out double. He's still at second base. Doing a good job of staying alive, which he has done very effectively lately.
So this will be the 8th pitch right here. And a pretty good fight right now between Hudson and Ramos. I mean, they got to put some diamond dry on the mound. Both pitchers can't be going back to that spike strip after every single pitch and cleaning out their spikes. I mean, they throw a pitch, go back there, clean out their spikes. Throw a pitch, go back there, clean out their spikes.
2-2 to Ramos. He drills it right field. That ball is on the ground. The Nationals are on the board. Ramos with his 50th RBI. It's a 3-1 game.
What a great at-bat by Wilson Ramos.
And that's why I was wondering earlier, FP, if the Braves are even going to pitch to him with a pitcher coming up.
Well, up by 3 runs, yeah. Why not? You got to lead early in the baseball game. You're looking for outs. You never want to put another base runner on, but how about that 8-pitch battle won by Wilson Ramos? Knock, stake, Nats on the board. It's good stuff.
Well, if I'm in a wild card race, I got to pitch to Steven Strasburg there, not Wilson Ramos.
You don't want to put base runners on when you have a lead. I mean, normally, yeah, you don't want to pitch to the 8-hole guy, but when you got a veteran guy out there that's pitched for a long, long time that you trust to make the pitch when he has to.
Strasburg with a bouncer. Jack Wilson. Nets pick up a big run. Espinosa's double. Wilson Ramos opposite field. 3-1 ball game. On Masson, brought to you by your local Ford dealers and by Navy Federal Credit Union. A loan from Navy Federal makes car buying easy. Visit NavyFederal.org to calculate your payment. It's turned into a lovely night here in our nation's capital. 70 degrees at game time. Atlanta on top, 3-1. As we go to the top of the third, hopefully Steven Strasburg settling in now for some more zeros on that board. PNC Minor League Report, solutions that help you achieve your financial goals. PNC for the achiever in you. We must note, since the guys got dressed up in the rookie hazing department, 8 of those wins, 8 out of 8, have come on the road in New York and Philadelphia.
And pretty much all those guys were the minor leagues this year, so 8-0 on the road as Smurfs, 9-2 overall. And it's late. We're trying to be creative with the minor league report. I like it.
Papa Smurf throwing to the Smurfette tonight. Strasburg to Ramos as the battery. And they'll go to work here against Jones, Ugla, and McCann, top of the third.
In between innings, they had to fix the spike cleaner on the mound. That one full, not working so much anymore. So what do? You nail a new one in.
I always laugh every time I look at one of those things, because my old friend from St. Louis, the Mad Hungarian, Al Raboski, once said, since 1968, that's the only thing they've done for the pitchers. And there's the strike, and the third inning is underway. They lowered the mound, everything for the hitters, but they did give them a shoe cleaner. That's a good breaking ball right in on Chipper's hand. Strike 2.
As a former hitter, I think that's the way it should be.
Now, the pitchers are doing okay these days. Offense down, pitching better, all around baseball dramatically this year. Strasburg will stand up Chipper on an 0-2 pitch. Dan Ugla, always dangerous. And then McCann. Oh, that's beautiful. He goes change up on him. Strasburg with his third K of the night.
And that's the pitch I was hoping that they threw to him first time up 3-2, because when you have that weapon in your back pocket as a hitter, I'm telling you what, I said it already tonight about 1,000,000 times, when you're sitting on 98, you can't get to that. And it's hard to see, and it looks just like the fastball. And I think for Steven Strasburg, and what I've seen this year so far, that's his best pitch.
Dan Ugla, a little flare to right field first time, not that hard hit. And he ducks under a pitch over his head, but that was a breaking ball that was way up there.
And Dan Ugla thought that was 99 coming right at his coconut.
Dan Uggla has interesting numbers. He did pick up an RBI tonight. But if you compare him with Michael Morse, he has 7 more home runs and 10 fewer RBIs. Michael has made great use of his 28 home runs. And nothing to slight a guy who's 3rd in the league with 35 and has set the standard for power hitting second baseman in this league now for the last 4 years.
And 72 points lower on his average.
Yeah, but I think my point is Michael's right there with some of the best sluggers in the league now. And Uggla turns on that one and continues his unbelievable hitting at Nationals Park. He came into this game 0 for his last 9. You can forget that.
This is a 96-mile-an-hour challenge fastball from Strasburg, and Uggla beat him to the point of contact. Looking fastball all the way. He got another pitch close to him. It's where he likes the ball. Pretty good swing.
Brian McCann is next, struck out swinging first time. Pretty impressive. 5 homers and 12 RBIs. Brian McCann is a double play guy if he can get the grounder. Espinosa won't be able to get it to Desmond. He'll settle for 1.
Well, you kind of see that coming right there. Danny Espinosa kind of planted his feet thinking about the double play feed, and a lot of times as a second baseman you're kind of at the mercy of the hop when you're thinking about turning 2. You know, you just have a play at first base, you kind of go through the baseball, you don't have to stop your momentum, you get the good hop. But when you're feeding a double play, you have to plant, take the in-between hop and try to fight and make the feed, and that one came up and bit him.
And a breaking ball in there to Freddie Freeman, who took a changeup up the middle. That was a huge hit. That made it a 2-run inning in the first.
Now that's a good curveball.
Bang. Straight down.
Just to get over, steal strike 1. Freeman sitting fastball, and I think as a power pitcher, you can get to an 0-1 count a lot by using your off speed.
And he doubled up and missed low and inside. Both pretty efficient, especially Hudson. Getting ahead. And a 2-1. Little comebacker right in on his hands. And now Steven Strasburg has been very good for the last 2 innings. Top of the order with Desmond and Keel and Zimmerman coming up in a 3-1 game. early. It's all about Ugla offensively for the Braves. Steven Strasburg off to a slow start, but now very good the last 2 innings. And Danny Espinosa helped get the Nats on the board.
You have this double right here. Fastball in from Tim Hudson, supposed to be away. Espinosa hustling into second base. And how about the 8-pitch fight from Wilson Ramos, and finish it with a single down the line. It scores Danny Espinosa, and that was RBI number 50 for Wilson Ramos.
What a nice accomplishment for him. The kids loved it when the Nats got on the board, and here they come again. Desmond leads off in the third. Hit a high chopper over to Chipper for a base hit to start off the first. With Desmond now hitting over 300 his last 36 games. Pulls one hard. Backhand, Jack Wilson. That is safe at first. And Ian Desmond is 2 for 2 with infield hits. Although that one did make it out near the grass.
What a play by Jack Wilson. Are you kidding me? A good hustle by Ian Desmond to beat this out, but watch him slide to an in-between hop, get rid of the ball quick as you can, and a one-hop strike to Freddie Freeman. And if it wasn't for the speed of Ian Desmond, I mean, watch the hustle right here. This play that Jack Wilson made gets about 9 out of 10 major leaguers, but not Ian Desmond in his speed.
Yeah, that's what I mentioned earlier about Wilson. He's not an acrobat. He's just a really good shortstop. Originally drafted by St. Louis, traded over there in 2000 to the Pirates, where he played for nearly 10 years before moving on to Seattle the last year and a half. So here's Rick Ankiel with the runner aboard. Rick hit the ball hard last time, lined out to Prado in left center. Prado again plays way off the line, about 100 feet. And on a pitch upstairs, the foul. It's now 0-2.
You said it, partner, and I'm watching Tim Hudson last inning, and I'm watching him this inning, and all of a sudden, a lot of his offerings are up. When Tim Hudson's good, he's knees and below.
Oh, yeah,
Everything starts out mid-thigh, at your knee, and breaks down to the bottom of the strike zone or below the strike zone. But all of a sudden, everything up. You got away with one right there to Rick Ankiel.
Yeah, who's been known to like that high fastball.
He can get on top of that.
Yeah, he's a left-handed hitter who can get the bat upstairs. Not many lefties do it. Jim Edmonds comes to mind, but how many other lefties can you recall that are good high ball hitters? Not many.
Don't see it very often. I think one Barry Lamar Bonds comes to mind, but other than that.
1 ball and 2 strikes. Desmond swiped a base in Philly, 24 on the year. The Nats are sitting on 99 stolen bases this year. Last year, they stole 110, 3rd in the league. But we like the win total a lot better this time around. 69 then, 76 now. Target away.
It's a good count to run on right here. Tim Hudson very quick to the plate, tough to steal on, but a lot of times he'll get into a pattern to where he doesn't really care about the base runner. He's so focused on the hitter that you can steal the base. And I think just because you're down 2 runs doesn't mean that you can't stop doing what you do best.
On 2-2. Good take by Ankiel. Man, I saw a little body English from the umpire there and was anxious for a moment. Jeff Nelson just called it up and away.
And that's, I think, a slider at 83 that backed up. Could have been the split, too.
We'll see if the Nats do something with Desmond here with nobody out, down by 2. He's running. Ankiel, left field. That's going to drop. 2 on, nobody out with Ryan Zimmerman coming in.
Boy, how about the at-bats by the Nats here against Tim Hudson all of a sudden? Ian Desmond, a good at-bat. Wilson Ramos, a great at-bat. Danny Espinosa. So the ball up in the strike zone, all of a sudden, Nats are taking advantage.
And I think another thing that's happening here is that Strasburg has shrugged off that 3-run first, and so have his teammates now. He's kind of said, okay, guys, I'm going to put a couple of zeros up there. Let's get us back in this game. And Zimmerman now with a definite chance to do that.
If Rick Ankiel remains friends with left field next year, he can hit in the high 200s, low 300s.
Yeah. Zimmerman hits it sharply but outside the line.
He just does such a good job, speaking of Ankiel lately, of going the other way, taking what they give you. And I think, you know, when you hit a few opposite field home runs, all of a sudden you realize, well, you know what? I don't have to pull the ball to have my power numbers. And if I miss-hit something over there, I can get some hits. And then if you make a mistake, I can still go pull side and beat you with a home run.
Zimmerman right side, double play ball for Ugla. And even with Ankiel going after the shortstop, the Braves turn the 4-6-3. Desmond over to third with 2 outs.
I hit it hard just right at Dan Ugla. We'll check it out from the third base seats. Good feed by Ugla. Nice turn by Wilson avoiding traffic. And you said it, Rick Ankiel went in there hard, but Jack Wilson getting some air.
Yeah,
avoiding the contact.
They used to call him Jumpin' Jack in Pittsburgh. It's up to Michael Morse now to shave another run off this deficit. Still early. It's okay to do it 1 run at a time.
Or 2.
So Desmond at third base. Michael hit the ball sharply, lined out to Prado and left. Hudson goes off the full windup here with 2 outs. And delivers 90 right in there.
And Michael Morse talking about his home run last night. He was having trouble getting the head out against Roy Oswald. Fastballs were beating him. He made the adjustment, got his foot down early. Kind of cheated on that 3-2 pitch and hit it out the other way. So we've been talking about it a lot lately. September, your bat gets heavy.
That hits him. Hudson runs one inside. And Michael Morse is hit for the 13th time.
He does get hit a lot. And it's not because he's diving. It's just the book on him is in. And we've seen him get drilled tons this year with sinkers that get away. And that didn't hurt at all. That just got him on his jersey, so probably scared him more than anything. But that was a great shot of the ball just hitting his uniform and nothing else.
On the Dodge Grand Caravan Exmo. Visit Dodge.com. 2 on, 2 out. And a big spot for Jason Worth. 11 career hits, 10 career RBIs against Tim Hudson. Struck out his first time up tonight swinging. Target in again. Worth fights it off and flares it out to Prado. And the Nats will leave 2. They've stranded 4. Middle innings are upon us. Atlanta on top 3-1. Visit AFCEA.org, the Association for IT Pros. Debbie has the sideline report.
Well, Nationals pitching coach Steve McCatty appreciates Steven Strasburg's commitment to getting better. You'll often see them talking in the dugout. So what's being said between the teacher and the student?
Ask about certain situations, what you were thinking there, and maybe we can show them something different, or from our experience, what we saw that might be different, or he could have done a little different. And he wants to know that. You know, he wants to learn, because that's just part of his wanting to be the best.
Steve said, too, that experience is the one thing that Steven needs more of. He said he has just about everything else. Bob, FP.
Yeah, that was a 13-inning game on Saturday. Steven pitched 6 of those innings, a run on 4 hits. 3 strikeouts, didn't walk anybody, 61 pitches, 45 strikes, the best we had seen him. And he and his mentor had a long chat after his departure from the field. Bottom 3 for the Braves, top of the 4th, Jack Wilson leads off. 1 pitch, 1 pop-up, and hopefully 1 out. Who wants it? Ian Desmond. That'll bring in Hayward, followed by Hudson. Braves will do a little scoreboard watching tonight, maybe a lot. They're underway in St. Louis. Cubs have a runner at second base with 2 outs. Top of the 1st. Chris Carpenter and Ryan Dempster in that game. Outstanding matchup. Hayward backed up Ankiel to the wall in left center, making all of us anxious with 2 men aboard to end that 1st inning. Fastball up in. 3-0. Another high fastball. Got to be strikes. Jason Hayward 6'5". And the count's full now.
I think that's the spot you go to, too, against him. Get that fastball in the inner half and tie him up.
Got in on his hands, forcing the foul. Steven Strasburg, 23 at the end of July. Jason Hayward, 22 early August. And a 3-2, forcing another late swing by Hayward. Fourth time Strasburg's been to a full count. And because of that long 1st inning, the Nats get the bullpen going. Colin Ballister. Strasburg is due to bat 4th if it gets down to that number 9 spot in the bottom of the 4th inning. If he has a normal inning here, he'll be somewhere around 75 to 80 pitches by then. Hayward, right center. Ball not at all deep. Worth is on the move, and Jason has it for the 2nd out. Catch all the action of the 2011 Major League Baseball postseason on Fox and TBS. All the excitement begins a week from tonight, September 30th, the Division Series on TBS. Braves a 2-game wild card lead over St. Louis. Boston a 2-game wild card lead over Tampa Bay. Red Sox rained out at New York tonight. Tampa Bay is home to Toronto, 4th inning, and trailing at home 3-0. Hudson lined out to Worth, first time up, required a good running catch on that ball. And Strasburg evens the count quickly here. A duck on a breaking ball, and it's still a strike.
And Tim Hudson saying, "Are you kidding me with that?"
Yeah. Hey, he's not paid to hit.
And he's not saying, "Are you kidding me with that call?" He's saying, "Are you kidding me with that pitch?"
And he got another breaking ball, and he hits it out to Desmond in a nice quick inning for Steven Strasburg. Getting his night back in order, Espinoza straight ahead. Tomorrow, it's a 105 game. 2-for-1 hot dogs, 2-for-1 Cokes on Sunday. Both days, $2 tickets available, limited supply. A team posted giveaway Saturday, and a Strasburg Strikes Again t-shirt presented by Geico on Sunday. Nationals.com/fanalley. While supplies last, some restrictions apply. 3-1 Braves. Bottom of the fourth with Espinoza, Nix, and Ramos coming up. Jason Worth hung around out on the track and tried to impede three presidents here to help Teddy. Look. Jason Worth trying to help Teddy win a race. Nice going, Jay.
What in the world?
He's going to have to take a couple of them down.
I don't think you want your right fielder getting hurt in a president's race, though.
You don't want head-to-head contact, I know that. Boy, the NFL would have a field day with those.
Yeah.
That's helmet to head right there.
He'd be done.
Danny Espinoza takes an off-speed pitch outside, 2-0. Lance Nix to follow, then the RBI man, Wilson Ramos. Well, for a minute, I thought Charlie Manuel was scouting the Nats tonight.
No, I think he's had enough of them.
Yeah, Charlie, they're probably on the way back to the hotel in New York. Their game postponed pretty early tonight. Yankees and the Red Sox washed out early. And a breaking ball, a swing and a miss, 2-2. I listened to the postgame show last night leaving Philadelphia, and Charlie Manuel was by no means panicked at all. But I did hear concern. You know, you don't just flip on the switch. And now they get rained out tonight. You know, they were supposed to get Ryan Howard, some other guys, all back in the lineup tonight and start playing together as a playoff-bound unit for a week. That's a breaking ball that went right around the outside corner, and Espinoza couldn't get the bat out there.
Well, I'd be concerned if I was him. I mean, no team has ever lost 6 games in a row in the history of baseball after they clinched.
But
But I think a night off is just what the doctor ordered for those guys. They were banged up and bruised, and you could see guys hobbling and limping all over the place. But I know you don't want to start losing games going into the postseason. When you talk about what the Braves are going through right now and why the wild card team a lot of times gets to the World Series, it's because they're playing playoff games the last 2 weeks of the season. Every game they play is a playoff game. They're playing for their lives to get there, and then all of a sudden you have that momentum and you get to the playoffs and you're like, well, we've been doing this for 2 weeks already, where maybe a team that clinched hasn't. Yeah. You gear down, you're trying to rest guys, you're trying to set your rotation. Maybe your horse is missing a start here, missing a start there, and then all of a sudden you got to rev up again when it means the most. I always said, man, wild card's the way to go. You got the momentum, you just roll right into the playoffs, and you've been there and done that already for 2 weeks.
2-0. Look out here if he gets a fastball. And Nix went to hacking. That pitch was in on his hands at 86, though, and he's out, 2 down. Well, you're looking at the rest of the season now as we count down the last 5. Tomorrow, Chin-Ming Wong and Brandon Beachy. And then on Sunday, the Braves will be here as DC 50 joins us for the 1:35 first pitch. And Ross Detweiler will earn another start against Mike Minor. Then it's on to Florida Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday afternoon at 4 o'clock. That's it. Here's Wilson Ramos. Beautiful at bat, beautiful finish to it. This time he hammers it to Chipper Jones, and that kid is swinging some kind of bat right now. On to the 5th inning, 3-1 Braves. About in a moment as this ball game goes to the top of the 5th inning. Huge TVs, cold beer, all-star eats, great giveaways. The all-new Skybox Sports Bar, your game day headquarters, only at Hollywood Casino, Charlestown Races, West Virginia. And since the 11th of September, the Nats have been fantastic. Top 2 at least in all 5 of those major league key rankings. Chris Marrero will bat 9th and play first base. And on a double switch, batting 7th, the new pitcher will be Colin Ballister. So Strasburg goes 4 innings, 5 hits. Couple of earned runs, 3 runs total. Didn't walk anybody and struck out 3. 75 pitches, 46 strikes.
Settled in nicely after a rough first inning. And I thought the whole first inning, he looked like he was trying to get comfortable on the mound. We always say you get the power pitchers, you get the elite pitchers early, and once Steven Strasburg settled down the second, he was nice.
Here's Michael Bourne, top of the 5th inning. Middle infielder's back, corner infielder's pinch on a very speedy hitter who is now 0 for his last 9. Ballister throwing the ball pretty well lately. 23rd appearance, 34 strikeouts in 35 innings. The league hitting .264 against him. And that fastball sails high as he came flying open. 3-0. Can't walk this guy if you don't want some trouble on your infield early in an inning.
You don't want to walk anybody ever, especially a guy with 56 steals.
First walk of the night issued by Washington pitching. Martin Prado 1 for 2 with a line drive in the first off the glove of Espinosa for a hit, and a bouncing ball to Zimmerman.
Another good challenge for Wilson Ramos. We've seen him throw out some of the best base stealers in baseball this year. Reyes, I think he's thrown out Bourne before.
And this is the major league leader with 56. Next closest guy is the American League leader, Brett Gardner of the Yankees, at 46.
But we might not have to think about stealing if Colin Ballister can't throw strikes.
And that will get a visit from the principal. Not the superintendent, the principal. And that's pitching coach Steve McCaddy here, not happy with what he's seeing.
I think he's telling him, with my lip reading skills, that you're a little too quick right now. Slow down.
Tampa Bay now trails Toronto 4-0 at home as they chase the Red Sox. Well, that'll set up an interesting Saturday with the Red Sox and the Yankees probably playing 2 tomorrow. All kinds of jumping around in the standings for the wild card possible tomorrow.
You know, I'd love to know the attendance in Tampa right now. Big game in the wild card race. How many people are there?
Well, Toronto's a visiting team. I'll guess 14,000.
Shouldn't matter who's a visiting team. You're in a wild card race.
Yeah, but down there it does. They only draw when the Yankees and the Red Sox come in. And that's a shame. That's a great, great young ball club down there.
And all the guys they lost due to free agency, trades, whatever, and they're still doing what they're doing.
And how much do guys love playing for Joe Madden?
I was just going to say, I think Joe Madden's manager of the year in the American League, hands down.
Ball 7. That bullpen phone may be ringing here in a second again. Right now, the bullpen's job is to keep this game settled down. McCaddy calls Jim Lett. Boy, you look at the hitters coming up. This is getting hairy here. That's in there. 3-1. Atahualpa, Severino warming up. Runner goes. Swing and a fly ball left field. Michael Morse back and under it, and that's a huge out. Bourne was on the run. The Nats get a fly ball out ahead of Chipper Jones. Prado 1 for 3. Don't miss out on Nationals action. Don't miss out on Maximum Access. We have it all for you at Masson, live in-game discussions, and the chance to win exclusive Masson prizes. So check out Masson on Facebook.com/Masson Nationals, and you can't miss. Chipper Jones 1 for 2. Base hit to left, swinging strikeout. Ballister still having a hard time getting around that fastball.
And what Steve McCaddy meant by too quick is you're jumping at the hitter, your front shoulder's flying open, your arm drags, and what happens? You get underneath the ball. And the best way to get back into it is throw a curveball. Slow you down and get you out in front. Kind of get you back in sync.
Chipper Jones reaching a bit, and he fouls it off to the left. Counts even 2-2. Trouble lurking.
That's a good thing we're getting this game in right now with the weather today. It didn't look like we were going to play. 100% chance of showers all night long, and all of a sudden it broke. But can you imagine the playoff ramifications if it rained all weekend and you don't get these games in?
Ramos, a bullet right into the back leg of the runner Bourne, and then Desmond not able to hold on, but I think Bourne had that one swiped cleanly, and that's number 57. Looked like Ramos did all he could.
Not the greatest jump either. A good throw by Wilson Ramos, a good pick by Ian Desmond. Watch the footwork again, tough pitch to throw on, down and away. A pretty good pick on the back end by Desmond, and he gets a tag that's, boy, when you see it like that, a lot closer than we originally thought. You see the eyes of Michael Bourne looking at second base out Marty Foster for the call.
Well, dangerous situation here. First base is open.
I think Desi's telling him right now, I got you. And he's like, no, you didn't.
Dangerous hitter in the box, dangerous hitter on deck. 3-2 pitch, 1 out. Ballister doesn't come close. 2 walks in the inning. Severino has been warming up, probably with Brian McCann in mind, who will follow Dan Uggla here. And as I mentioned, just as Uggla got the hit back in the first inning, nearly 580 at bats. He's only hit into 9 double plays this year. He's a fly ball line drive guy. He's a double play guy if you can get a grounder, but it just doesn't happen.
Well, Ballister's sinker's been nice lately, and he's going to have to throw a well-located one here to get Dan Uggla out.
That ball gets away, and the runners stay. But again, there's that fastball up and away to lefties, and in this case, up and in to a right-hander. And now Ballister's going to do some house cleaning on his landing area. Right now, Ian Desmond informing him that they've turned 140 double plays on the year. Why not one more?
That's exactly what he said, too.
Trust us.
It's a ground ball right here. I want to turn 141.
That's a good low strike.
And you'll do that as a middle infielder from time to time. You go to the mound and you see a guy that's searching, and you know, as a middle infielder, you don't know mechanics, but that's the last thing that guy wants to hear. So, you know, usually a pep talk. Hey, you're one pitch away right here. You locate a fastball, get it down the zone. We'll turn it for you. We got your back.
The Nets have turned the 5th most double plays in the league. That's a great breaking ball there.
So whatever Ian Desmond said is working.
Hopefully for one more. Here's the Verizon pitch track.
So a good 2-seam fastball down the zone, followed by a nasty curveball down and away, and Uggla was betting fastball.
Verizon, America's largest and most reliable wireless network. Breaking ball, that was a hanger. Uggla bangs it into the left field corner. Bourne scores. Chipper Jones stops at third, and the Braves lead 4-1.
Boy, that is a pitch all season long that we've seen Dan Uggla absolutely kill. He loves sliders out over the plate. He loves curveballs out over the plate. That's where he does the most damage. You see him stay through that right there. Fooled a little bit, but no stride allows him to keep his hands back. Good extension. And a double for Dan Uggla.
Finishing Colin Ballister. 4 hitters, 2 walks, a steal, a double, and Atahualpa Severino will get the call. This call to the bullpen is packaged by the UPS Store. We love logistics. Severino and McCann, lefty-lefty matchup coming.
check out the night of Steven Strasburg. It started out a little rocky. Having trouble settling in. Martin Prado on a first pitch fastball, base hit. Chipper Jones on a 3-2 heater, base hit. Dan Uggla on a fastball, base hit. So what do? You make adjustments. Got you on the fastball first time, I'm going to throw you a change second time. Got me on a fastball or change first time, I'm going to throw you a fastball second time. Remember Freddie Freeman hit that changeup up the middle. So Strasburg making the adjustments, settled down nicely after a rough first. He was good.
Two tough lefties now facing Severino. Atahualpa comes in. Started his outing and most recent outing in Philadelphia with a walk the other night. He throws strikes. He can throw hard. It's all about getting it in there. 1/3 of an inning in Philly Wednesday night with a hit, 2 runs because of a walk in that hit and a strikeout.
I believe that hit was a home run by John Mayberry on a slider right out over the plate.
Yep, after that walk. Brian McCann 0 for 2.
I think the key for Severino is getting that slider over. If you establish that for a strike, the hitter has to think about it, but if you don't throw it for a strike, I don't care how hard you throw at this level, guys will be on it.
And he's a lefty facing a lefty who throws from the far third base side of the pitching rubber. So he doesn't quite create the angle against left-handed batters that some other lefties do. Outside, 2-1.
And what you do as a hitter in this situation, you see the rotation early on the slider, and if any pitcher doesn't throw it for a strike, you see rotation early, you just take it because you know it's not going to be in the strike zone. You see four-seam rotation on the fastball, you jump it. It's a luxury at the major league level to be able to disregard a pitch when a pitcher has 2 of them. So if you don't throw the slider for a strike, now you're a one-pitch pitcher, and I'm going to get that if you throw it for a strike. When Severino throws a slider for strikes, it's a different story. He is tough to hit.
3-1 now. And McCann foul tips the 93 heater upstairs. Another lefty, a tough rookie, Freddie Freeman waiting. A run home. Braves lead 4-1, top of the 5th. Third base Chipper Jones, second base Dan Uggla. Those two guys have combined to be on 5 times tonight.
I'm wondering why the infield is back right here. You're down 3 runs. It's the 5th inning.
Yep.
And Davey Johnson has Desmond and Espinoza playing back.
And you're facing Tim Hudson, against whom runs are very hard to get and precious.
Maybe because the speed of Chipper Jones at third. I'm trying to figure this one out.
Target away, 3-2. McCann stays alive.
Because when you're down by 3 runs this late against Tim Hudson or whoever, you have to stop the bleeding. You can't afford to give up any more runs. So usually in this situation you go infield in, but Davey Johnson maybe not wanting to give up 2 runs right here and conceding 1. I mean, you bring your infield in, you're weakening yourself, you're opening up more holes. So this is a situation you see a lot of people bring the infield in.
Brian McCann will drive that ball to the gap. That'll bring in 2. Jones followed by Uggla. And the Braves lead it 6-1. And all 3 runs in this inning charged to Colin Ballister. Brian McCann with RBIs number 70 and 71.
Pretty good at bat right here by McCann. And he gets a slider and he's on it. So in swing mode right there, 3-2, gets a slider out over the plate, wins the battle, 2 RBIs. Good at bat.
And now Freddie Freeman, another lefty-lefty matchup. Freeman tonight 1 for 2 with an RBI hit. And a Freeman ground ball to Danny Espinosa for the second out. Brian McCann over to third. For the latest news on Georgetown men's basketball, including ticket information, visit guhoyas.com. And during the season, follow the Hoyas on Masson. Masson's the official regional sports network of Georgetown basketball. Jack Wilson 0 for 2. Hit that really hot shot down to Zimmerman that got by Ryan in the first inning. And then a pop-up to short starting off the fourth. Jack Wilson, 11th year in the big leagues. 267 career hitter. Always a great contact guy. He's only struck out 33 times all year between Seattle and Atlanta. Jason Hayward, the number 8 man, is next. 3-run inning for the Braves here in the fifth. They had 3 in the first. And Jack Wilson will fly it near the left field line, but hooking into the seats. Defense has done a lot of standing around this inning. And there's the contact man. Wilson shortening up on 2 strikes.
I was just spreading out on the plate, taking a lot out of his swing, choking up. And you're watching how these guys are taking the slider. They're not really starting their hands. They're not offering at it. They see the rotation. They recognize the pitch early, and they're just taking it.
Inside target 2-2. Jack Wilson can't reach that one up and away. Damage done by the Braves. 2 walks, 3 runs halfway through. 6-1 Atlanta. By Verizon Wireless, America's largest and most reliable wireless network, and by Bank of America. Turned into a beautiful night here in Washington, D.C. Scoreboard not so pretty. The Nats have a ways to go to get back even in this one. 6-1 ball game. They've been out hit 7-5 and have stranded 4 base runners already. Nationals have not been given a walk tonight, but on the season, 456 of them, and that means Care First Blue Cross Blue Shield has contributed $22,800 to support the Boys and Girls Club of Greater Washington, D.C. Care First Blue Cross Blue Shield encourages each of us to take that first step towards a healthier and more active lifestyle. Tim Hudson, 51 pitches, 37 strikes through 4. On a really muggy night, he's had some long sit-downs in his dugout, especially during the first and fifth innings. Nats made a double switch last inning, so first baseman Chris Marrero bats ninth, leading off the fifth. Chris's young career is off to a fine start at 273, 24 hits in 25 games, 9 RBIs. And that's a one-hopper to Jack Wilson. We'll see if Ian Desmond now can go 3 for 3.
Yeah, a couple of infield singles for Desmond tonight. A chopper to third base, a ball in the hole. Jack Wilson made a beautiful play on. So good leadoff hitting, getting on base twice by Desmond.
Well, that's a breaking ball that was hanging a bit. Desmond off the end of the bat. It's a race, and that's well played by Dan Uggla. McGlynn knew he had to get rid of it in a hurry. 2 down. So you got the Johnny Gomes thing going there in the back?
He does. He's got a little mohawk going.
Well, whatever's working.
Tail sticking out. I mean, don't you almost have to have a mohawk if you play for the Braves? Tomahawk, mohawk.
I don't know if Bobby Cox would put up with that.
Some sort of hawk.
Rick Ankiel. Freddie Gonzalez, a good, solid manager. I miss Bobby Cox, though. Watching him go at it with umpires, always one of the most fun things you could ever see at a ballpark.
I just miss him, period. One of the most classy men I've ever met. One of the best managers in the history of our game.
Absolutely. When he retired, second active in wins behind Tony La Russa.
No matter how popular the manager is, there's always somebody that says, I don't like him. I didn't like playing for him.
Never heard that about him, did you?
Not once. I can't tell you how many friends play for Bobby Cox, and they not one bad thing about the guy ever. Because he's a player's manager. He's always go out there and argue for you. Even if he knew you were wrong when you were arguing, he would still go out and get between you and the umpire and get thrown out instead of you. There's a lot of managers in baseball that if they think you're wrong in your argument, they won't come out.
Rick Ankiel levels off and lines one right at Jason Hayward, and now this game is into the 6th inning. Tim Hudson is cruising with a 5-run lead.
against the Braves, obviously, Saturday. 105 start, team poster night. First 20,000 fans get a poster. There's a food special Saturday, too. 2-for-1 hot dogs and Sunday. Strasburg strikes again t-shirt. I got mine on right now, folks, and it is awesome. 135 start against the Braves. Special food, drink, and $2 ticket offers. Go to nats.com/finale for all the details.
Atahualpa Severino to Jason Hayward. First pitch, top of the 6th, and a strike. Busted bat, well placed, and that's going to be a hit. Unless Desmond can throw him out, and Jason Hayward, who runs well for a big man, got there in plenty of time.
And boy, does he run well. You're smelling the hit. I'll tell you what, you kick it into another gear, and I think that little hop off the mound bought Jason Hayward enough time to beat a good play by Ian Desmond.
But look how strong Desmond is, moving to his left and then throwing back to his right. I mean, that was a bullet.
He does that play well, going up the middle, throwing off the wrong foot. A lot of guys will do the inside pivot right there, but he always stays inside the baseball. He's a good, strong arm.
Tim Hudson deadens that ball, and Ramos makes that into a 1-6-4 double play. Tim Hudson didn't bunt it far enough, and Wilson Ramos made him pay. 2-6-4 as Espinosa receives the final toss there.
Check out the quickness of Wilson Ramos and how quick he gets rid of this baseball. A perfect strike to Ian Desmond, and watch him get rid of it. Bam, clear yourself inside. Good strong throw to first base. But the key was Ramos. He got rid of that quick. A bullet on the money. And Ian Desmond had a little bit of time to get out Tim Hudson. Nice play.
You know, with all the young talent on this team, FP, I know we'd be excited. But if you don't have a really good young catcher as part of that whole thing, you've got a big position to fill on your ball club. And the fact that Ramos is one of these kids, the way he's playing right now, is huge for this organization.
Well, you got to be strong up the middle to win. And when you're young and strong up the middle, that bodes well for the future. Ramos, Espinosa, Desmond, the bullpen, all the starting pitching we've seen lately. And everybody keeps comparing the Nats to seasons past and win totals in 2006, 2000. This is different because you got a bunch of young guys in the ball club and the franchise moving in the right direction. You know, back then it was the Expos that came down here. They were, you know, filler players. You know, they weren't guys that were homegrown that came up through your system. They're going to be here for a long time. So when you talk about win totals and what this team has done this year, it means a lot more because, you know, the future's bright and they're set. I mean, there's been a lot of questions answered this year. It's not a bunch of, you know, 36-year-olds putting together a 76, 77, 80-win season, whatever it ends up being. It's a bunch of kids.
Yeah. And a ball drilled out to center. Rick Ankiel barely has to move. Severino gets a quick top of the 6th. There's time left. Zimmerman, Moore's Worth coming.
Don't be afraid.
Got some chopped up chicken there. Oh, man.
Bring some up here.
They sent those ribs out here in the last homestand. We died up here.
There
when
was
we got
one
those.
too many chops on that last leg. They chopped the leg right in half.
Yeah. Well, maybe that's one of those burnt ends, as they call it.
Or half leg.
Nationals trying to burn Tim Hudson, but it's not working at the moment. Desmond has 2 hits, and Keel a base hit. Danny Espinosa has scored the Nats only run a double in the second inning, 1 out ahead of the Wilson Ramos base hit for RBI number 50. Zimmerman, Morrison, Worth 3-4-5 against Tim Hudson, bottom 6. First pitch breaking ball stays in sight. St. Louis got a second inning run. And right now in the bottom of the third over there, they lead Chicago 1-0, trying to keep pace with the Braves. 2 games back in the wild card.
And Pujols putting him on his back right now. 37 home runs, hitting .304. You remember when everybody was worried about Albert and the year he was having? 98 RBIs, just 2 shy of another 30 home run, 100 RBI season. And do you see what Matt Kemp is doing? Are you kidding me? 326. He's 3rd in the league in batting average. 36 home runs. He's 2nd. RBIs 118. He's 1st. So 3, 2, and 1. And we have a legitimate chance to see a triple crown.
Out of play right side.
Now I have a question for you. There was a game to be played here. Dodgers Nats that was rained out, that is not going to be made up. And when you have a guy that's a legitimate triple crown threat, and you're talking about the integrity of the schedule, to me, that game means a lot all of a sudden. Not so much in the standings, but when you're talking about a triple crown candidate who might be tied with Pujols in home runs, might be 1 point below Ryan Braun in batting average, you could make a really good argument that that game needs to be made up.
Interesting, yeah. Zimmerman a chopper. Ball takes a little spin back toward Hudson. That made the play easier for him.
I know that's probably what a lot of people didn't want to hear. They were ready to go home after the season, but you're talking about a triple crown. That doesn't happen every day, and a guy that's flirting with it, that's history. And if you don't make up that game, you could make a really good argument that you're messing with history.
I was just looking at the game totals played by Atlanta and St. Louis. Neither of those ball clubs, neither the Braves or the Cardinals have any games that need to be made up. So if they play through without interruption their next 6, they'll have the full 162. Not so for the Dodgers.
And how about a team that might have the Cy Young Award winner and the MVP? And where are they in the standings?
11.5 games behind Arizona.
That means you just release everybody else.
Michael Morris, how about that release? That baby's going to bang up against the wall. He's on for the second time tonight. Michael Morris has been right around the top 10 in extra base hits recently. So that's his 36th double.
On 36 double, and more importantly, he got hit last time. He lined out to left his first time, and it keeps his average over 300 right where it's at. Probably go up a point with that hit. Little bent arm swing by Michael Morse. He got the barrel to the baseball, and once again, another double for the Beast, finishing strong.
He's in the top 10 with 64 extra base hits, and now something's going on with Tim Hudson. By the way, that was our Jeep Exmo. Stop by the Jeep Celebration event this weekend at your local Jeep dealer.
And he was pointing to his right collarbone right there. So we're watching the double down the line, and this is what Tim Hudson's doing on the mound, and that's the guy that's had surgery before. Big time surgery, and anytime you feel anything, the trainer's going to come out there, but it's his collarbone. You see the cleats. He looks like he's playing a football game on Sunday in the rain.
Jason Worth 0 for 2. These next 2 at-bats could decide whether the Nats do or do not get back in this game. Tim Hudson is in a catcher's type squat, waiting for something to work its way out.
But don't you have to throw a couple of pitches here? just to see how it feels. He's back behind the mound, stretching out. Not comfortable yet. Boy, I would make him throw a couple warm-up pitches just to see if he feels anything.
Yeah, and usually that would happen before the trainer would leave the field. Christian Martinez up and throwing in a hurry as some alarm bells are going off in the Atlanta dugout and bullpen.
Well, they've already lost Jurgens, Hansen. They can't afford to lose this guy. Even if they get to the playoffs, they're done. I mean, you cannot lose a guy like Tim Hudson, and all eyes are on number 15 right now in the Braves dugout.
Roger McDowell alongside Freddie Gonzalez. Front door breaking ball just nips the corner on the way in. Michael Moore scoring position, 1 out, bottom of the 6th. And Espinosa has a double tonight.
This doesn't look like he's really letting it go all of a sudden. Kind of decelerating his arm after release. Kind of pulling across.
High strike call.
A 3-1 pitch from Hudson, a high strike, but high strikes go a long ways.
Is Verizon on the pitch track, America's largest and most reliable wireless network.
And Jason Worth, you see the frustration right there on the foul ball. He wants that one back. When you're facing a good sinker baller, a guy that's keeping the ball down all night, as a hitter, the battle is to elevate him. You're trying to get something waist high, belt high that you can drive. Last couple of pitches to Jason Worth, he knew it. He got one right there, right where he was looking, and fouled it off.
(3-2) with 1 out. And Worth on a breaking ball manages to get it out of play. Nats are down by 5. Worth with a base hit up the middle. Michael Morse will score easily, and it's a 6-2 game on Jason Worth, 57th RBI.
So an 8-pitch battle by Jason Worth is won with a base hit up the middle. Fouled off a couple of tough pitches to get to that right there. Stays through it. Knock, RBI. He will take it. Nice at bat.
Michael Moore scoring for the 70th time this year. That's one off the team lead of Danny Espinosa. The pitcher spot is next. There's a catcher on deck as Danny steps in. And there's Pudge. That's outside. Hudson's pitch count approaching 80 here in the 6th inning.
I don't want to say he's on fumes right now, but his stuff isn't as sharp as it was just last inning. The sinker's not going down like it was. He's kind of just riding away from the lefty. I don't think he's tired, but I definitely think whatever was going on around his collarbone area is definitely affecting him. You see there's no break to that slider anymore. His sinker's flat, and maybe Freddie Gonzalez has used his bullpen so much this year.
Yeah.
Those guys are huffing and puffing down there. He's trying to get the most he can out of Tim Hudson.
Well, remember last night when Charlie Manuel tried to get another out or two out of Roy Oswalt. Didn't work out very well. The Nats pounded for 3 runs and put that game away. So maybe they have the foot in the door here to get back into this one. 2-0 and Espinoza with a late swing. It's 2 balls, 1 strike. Danny with a base hit. Worth will make the turn and stop. And Tim Hudson has to be close to the end of the line here. That's 3 hits in a row. And now Pudge Rodriguez coming up for the pitcher.
Well, Danny Espinoza with a double his first time up. And backing it up with a single his 3rd time up. So 2 for 3 tonight from Espinoza. And that's 3 hits in a row for the Nats. Morse with the double, Worth with a single, Espinoza with a base hit. And how about the ovation right now for Pudge? This is cool. Standing ovation as he steps in the box.
Pudge this year as a pinch hitter, 1 for 5 with an RBI.
Wow, this is awesome.
Well, I'm sure some of our fans are fearing, maybe the ones not planning on being here Saturday or Sunday, that they may be seeing Pudge at home for the last time and letting him know how much they love him. Good take on a breaking ball that was tantalizing.
And that's got to make him feel good. A guy that contributed so much to this franchise, so much to this team this year. You know, I remember early in the season we used to talk about the energy he added to the lineup when he was in there, all the big hits he's gotten throughout the years, and especially this year. And sometimes when you go on the DL and you're not playing, you feel like you're forgotten. All of a sudden you step in the box and you get a standing O. It's all good.
2 homers, 19 RBIs on the year, 311 career homers.
And every day I walk into the clubhouse, I see Pudge walk by me with a bat in his hand, his batting gloves on. And he's coming from the cage all sweating. And he's not stopped his routine once. Hasn't played a whole lot.
2,842 hits.
But he's still working hard every single day.
Well, he wants to be somewhere with a uniform on battling next year. Boy, Worth came way off the bag at second. That put Ugla totally out of position. He went to the bag, and then a slow breaking ball taken for a strike. A lot of things happening right there.
You see Worth in the background, and he got a good jump, and he didn't trust it. Sometimes you get too good a jump, and you feel like you're in no man's land. You got to shut it down.
Well, he had Ugla and Freeman both moving on that. And now Pudge has to protect on 1 and 2. He'll get jammed and knock it down to Chipper Jones. Just 1 out to get. Braves on top by 4. So the runners move up. And Wilson Ramos will get a shot. He has hit the ball hard against Hudson twice tonight. Ramos rifling a RBI hit down the right field line in the 2nd. And then with 2 outs in the 3rd, a rocket right at Chipper Jones.
I don't think Tim Hudson is right. He's back in that squat on the back of the mound right now.
Yeah, he's trying to get 1 more out and then turn it over to that really good bullpen of theirs.
Well, he's got to get a big out. He's got to hit a double and a line drive to third base. And with the base open right here, we'll see what he does. But the Nats are a hit away from game on.
It's obvious that Freddie Gonzalez is trusting Tim Hudson here to let him know he can continue. He's been throwing that front door breaker to right-handers all night. That one's inside.
That's one where, as a hitter, you take it and you say, I wish that was a strike. Because if that ball was out over the plate, Wilson Ramos would have crushed it.
Ball 2. That is a base hit. 1 run will score. Jack Wilson keeps it on the infield to keep another run from scoring. And Wilson Ramos makes this a 6-3 game.
And that's the same pitch he got the first pitch. Off the plate in. That one was a strike. And he hit it hard. And Jack Wilson making a nice dive and play right here to keep Danny Espinosa from scoring 2.
I think Freddie Gonzalez has seen enough. He'll chat with Tim Hudson. Get the ball from him. Pat him on the back like Bobby Cox used to. And a courageous outing for Hudson. But the Nats are on the verge of being right back in this game. End of the season. 6-3 ball game. Chris Marrero coming up in a moment. This copyrighted telecast presented by authority of the Washington Nationals and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the expressed written consent of the Washington Nationals. Christian Martinez, appearance number 43. Not a real strikeout guy, but hard to hit. 56 Ks in 74 innings, but the league's only hitting 190 against him, so how does he do it?
With a fastball, slider, and a change, he's got a good changeup. He throws it about 32% of the time. Fastball only 44% of the time. So he likes the off speed, and it's good.
Here's Marrero. Huge run sitting over at third base. Chris goes up hacking and a foul ball straight back. So the Nats have put a crooked number on the board here, and they're trying to line drive their way back into this game. Danny Espinosa, third base. Wilson Ramos across from him. Morrison Worth have scored. That's a good take and a perfect pitch. 0-2.
Yeah, you don't want to swing at that until you get the 2 strikes. That's a pitcher strike all the way. Even though he's behind the count 1-2 right here, this would be a really good time for Chris Marrero's first big league home run.
Just thinking the same thing. Representing the tying run in there. They'll take it outside, 2-2.
And if he does it, ratings in St. Louis and San Francisco will be through the roof.
Leadoff Manny and Desmond, a 2-hit night. Nats have now out-hit the Braves 9-8. And Marrero chops it down to Chipper Jones. Nationals are gone in the 6th. They scored 2, leave 2. They've stranded 6. On to the 7th in a 6-3 game. Supply Sunday as well, and tomorrow a 2-for-1 hot dog special. Sunday a 2-for-1 Coca-Cola special, and Strasburg strikes again the T-shirt giveaway by Geico. Go to nationals.com/Fan Alley for all your Fan Alley final weekend at home fun at the ballpark. So this one into the top of the 7th inning. Martin Prado, Chipper Jones, and Dan Ugla. The Nats' 4th pitcher of the night will be Yuneski Maya, who makes his 9th appearance. It'll be his 4th relief appearance. And in 30 innings right now, the league is hitting him hard at .336.
And for him, the challenge is always pounding the strike zone early when he comes out of the bullpen. Probably a role that he's not real accustomed to. But for Maya, it's fastball, slider, curveball, change, split, kitchen sink. He throws everything in any count.
Martin Prado 1 for 3 with a base hit and a run scored.
So this is where when you score 2 runs in the bottom of the 6th, you got to get your team right back into the dugout. Momentum's wearing a white jersey right now. So for Maya, throw strikes, let your defense work. Get the backs back in your hitter's hands. Get him in the dugout.
Gutsy performance by Tim Hudson tonight. 5 2/3, 9 hits. But the Nats get him for only 3 runs. Didn't walk anybody and struck out 4. 86 pitches, 57 strikes. Maya throws a fastball that misses inside, 2-1. Chipper Jones has a hit, a walk, and 2 runs scored tonight. Checking out the Braves box score, it's a tale of 2 innings. 3 runs on 4 hits, an error, thus 1 unearned run in the first, and then because of 2 walks, a 3-run 5th inning. And a hopper over to the right side for Danny Espinosa.
Good pitch right there. Ran the sinker right on Prado's hands.
Chipper Jones is 1 for 2, single, strikeout, walk, and 2 runs scored. Late arriving crowd tonight, but once everybody found out the weather was clearing, a lot of folks showed up. 28,817 the attendance tonight.
Expecting big crowds all weekend. Now, why wouldn't you come out? Last 2 home games of the season after tonight. You're going to be wishing you had baseball in about a week. So come out to the yard. Catch the Nats one last time. Why not?
Quickest way to do it online, nationals.com/tickets. And a 1-1 pitch. Maya misses outside.
And I can't wait to end the season in Florida and get your reaction to the playing surface down there. I've been watching the Marlins highlights.
Oh, yeah.
University of Miami's playing there. The Dolphins are playing there. The Marlins are playing there.
Yeah.
It is a goat track right now.
Maybe they booked a couple of soccer games on off days.
I played there in September, man. That infield's a minefield. They got divots out where the football team's playing right on. It is not going to be a fun time for the infielders for the Nats.
2 outs, bases empty. Michael Morse catching that easy fly ball. Now let's see if the Nats can get Dan Uggla out. He's 3 for 3 tonight. Couple of RBIs, 2 runs scored. Busting his way out of an 0 for 9 that he brought to town with him. As we mentioned in Philadelphia, while the Nats were playing last night, the Braves were already here and had an off day after finishing up Wednesday afternoon in Florida. So they probably refreshed themselves a little bit, got out of the routine, and they've come out and gathered 6 runs on 8 hits tonight. But they by no means have put away this ball game yet. And Dan Uggla may be the guy who benefited from that day off the most.
I always wondered if you're a manager in a pennant race, do you manage the game differently based on what you're seeing on the scoreboard going on around the league? Or are you just managing that game to win that game and you're not paying attention? Because this is a time of year when you're watching the scoreboard, you're paying attention to everything. In the one pennant race I was in Oakland, we had the wild card sewed up. It wasn't really a race. And Seattle won 116 that year. We won 102. But I've never been involved with a manager that is looking out at the scoreboard. I'm wondering if that dictates moves you make throughout the course of a game based on what's going on around the league.
Well, I have a thought on that, and we'll talk about it as we continue our discussion after we get up and take a nice big stretch here in our 7-story booth. Six to 1. It's now 6-3. Bottom of the 7th coming up. Talking about managers in pennant races. FP, I would think that maybe a manager who's 2 or 3 games behind might try something, a gadget here and there, as opposed to the guy who's got the lead, because he knows we take care of our business. We're fine.
Good point. Yeah. Come catch me right now. I'm managing my game. You worry about your thing. But when you talk about the Braves, O'Flaherty on right now, then it's Venters, then it's Kimbrel. These guys have been used so much. It's going to be interesting for me to see tonight how they handle this situation. You get to the end of the season. We've been talking to relievers a lot lately, and you just hit the wall this time of year. So maybe the adrenaline of a pennant race gets these guys through it. But these are guys that have been used a lot. And Freddie Gonzalez going to his pen right here. This is going to be fun to watch.
I tell you what sticks in the craw of a manager, though, at this stage of a season. In San Francisco, they're saying if we had some offense, we wouldn't be in this position. And in St. Louis, if we had a bullpen, we wouldn't be depending on other people to give us help. Because when you have those two things working against you, you're going to lose some ball games you should have won.
And if you have all of them, you're Philadelphia, and you're up by however many games cruising into the playoffs. So
and you drop 4 in a row to the Nets.
Yeah, that's the idea, right, is to have everything. You don't have to worry about any of that stuff. But not everybody perfect in this league.
Eric O'Flaherty for the Braves.
I still think the Braves, had their rotation stayed healthy, would have gave the Phillies a run. And they did for a while. When you talk about the guys they've lost this year, Hanson, Jurgens, you know, he wasn't right when we saw him down there in Atlanta. The knee was hurt.
Yep.
But when those guys were all in sync, and I think the injuries made Freddie Gonzalez rely more on his bullpen. And you're talking about guys who, look at the games these guys have. This is the 76th appearance for O'Flaherty. Venters has 82. Where's Kimbrel? 77.
Yeah.
That's a lot of work.
It's going to be a lot of work for Ian Desmond against Eric O'Flaherty. He's their 7th inning guy. Then they have Johnny Venters and then Craig Kimbrel. That ball hit well, but right at Jason Hayward, in the bottom of the 7th is underway. And remember, last time up, Desmond had a hit taken away by Dan Uglas, so he's been dangerous all night long with the bat, and that'll bring in Johnny Gomes to hit for Rick Ankiel. So Davey Johnson will go situational here with a right-handed batter.
Nice night for Rick Ankiel, 1 for 3, lined out to left his first time, lined out to right his last time. So Ankiel swinging the bat nice here, going down the stretch.
Johnny Gomes is still hunting for that first pinch hit as a National. He's 0 for 12. Ankiel, while he was in there, 1 for 3 tonight, hit the ball well all 3 times. Right now they're in the bottom of the 5th in St. Louis, and it's still a 1-0 ball game between Ryan Dempster and Chris Carpenter. Giants just underway at Arizona, a do-or-die weekend for them. Joe Saunders and Matt Cain in that game. Ankiel, Cora, Strasburg. Johnny Gomes hits the ball well, but it's right at Martin Prado. Ball game off to a slow start, to say the least, with a 38 pitch first inning for Steven Strasburg. Since then, things are flowing along pretty well. And the game flow is brought to you by Corona Extra, who invites you to find your beach. Ryan Zimmerman goes up hacking, and that's a base hit. On the attack early, and that'll get Michael Morse to the plate here in the bottom of the 7th.
Nice piece of hitting right here by Ryan Zimmerman. There's the big leg kick. Small bug flying around his head as he gets his hands in the proper position. See him get inside the baseball right there. Just a nice single up the middle, and anytime you get a ball past Jack Wilson, you're doing something right. And now the hunt for 30 home run continues.
Yep.
With Michael Morse.
Well, the Nats, as a rule, in the second half of the season, have scored right around 40% of their runs using the long ball. This would be an opportune time. Michael's been hit by a pitch and doubled tonight. He's 1 for 2. has Eric O'Flaherty given up many home runs this year? He's given up 2 home runs in 71 innings. That is impressive. Either nobody's going to hit one the rest of the year or he's due to give one up.
And that was a home run swing by Morse for sure.
Look at this. Then you go to Johnny Venters. 1 home run in 85 innings. Come on. And then Craig Kimbrell. 3 home runs in 75 innings. They just never give up the long ball, these guys. The ball tailing down and away, 1-2.
I think with O'Flaherty, it's about keeping the ball down. He's got a good slider to go with the sinkers. Like we always say, if you keep the ball down the zone, hard to elevate, hard to hit home runs.
Nats down by 3. And Morse will take it low. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Jason Worth, RBI single, and then a run scored last time up. Morse can't reach that pitch, diving away. Nationals have stranded 7 runners. This one into the 8th inning. 6-3 Braves. Strasburg, half of his pitches in the first inning, he would pitch 3 more than without giving up any runs. Wilson Ramos has his RBI total up to 51 on the year, and the Nats continue to have a problem in stopping Dan Uggla.
It is time for our Morgan Franklin pivotal play. Let's go back to the 5th inning. We're going to make it the Brian McCann double. Pretty good at bat right here. Got it to a 3-2 count. Got a slider out over the plate. Drove it to the deepest part of right center field. A couple of RBIs right there for McCann. It was a big play in this ball game as it sits to 6-3 right now. And that is our pivotal play. Morgan Franklin and their clients know that pivotal plays don't just happen in sports. See who's making them in business and government too at pivotalplays.com.
Brian McCann, RBI total up to 71 now. And he bounces one to Desmond, who was playing him right up the middle for an easy out. Yuneski Maya has retired 4 straight. Jason Worth moves over to center field because Johnny Gomes hit for Rick Ankiel and then took over in right. And the Braves have their bullpen set up for this one. O'Flaherty's done his job in the 7th. There's Maya against Freddie Freeman, who golfs one foul. They have 2 pitchers warming up. One of them is Johnny Venters. The other is Scott Linebrink in case they take a lead further here that's not a save situation. So Linebrink, the right-hander, and Venters, the lefty, with all that heat of his.
Well, no offense to Linebrink, he's a very good pitcher. But I wonder if you think about giving up a run right here so that you can face him instead of Venters and Kimbrel. You might have a better chance to come back, right?
By the way, Tampa Bay at home going into the bottom of the ninth now. Still trailing 5-0 to Toronto. As Freddie Freeman dumps one into right field, and that's his second hit of the night. That'll bring in Jack Wilson. So Boston rained out at New York tonight, likely to gain a half game in the wild card race by not playing.
That's probably the best day the Red Sox have had in a while.
Man, they have struggled. I saw some absurd headline today about Terry Francona's job in trouble with a question mark. Are you kidding me? This is one of the greatest stretches of baseball they've had ever.
What have you done for me lately?
Jeez. That's more like, what have you done for me today? But whenever I see a question mark at the end of a headline, that means the guy really has no story. It's an opinion with a question mark. 1 ball, 1 strike to Jack Wilson.
Kind of like when they reviewed us after one game this year.
Yeah. Where's the chemistry? Question mark. Well, it hasn't blown up. We haven't blown up the booth yet.
Yeah, I think we're doing all right, partner.
1-1 pitch, and it fouled straight back. I got news for you, buddy. I'm in the 28th year of my audition. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Oh, that's a good breaking ball by Maya. 2 outs, his second strikeout. Yuneski Maya keeping this game settled down for the moment. Let's see what he can do against big, strong Jason Hayward.
And watch how long this pitch is a strike. That's the key. Breaks late, looks like a strike to the hitter most of the way. That's a tough guy to strike out. Good pitch. Struck him out twice tonight.
Hayward 1 for 3 with a base hit up the middle last time. Left-hander Doug Slayton got a couple of quick outs in Philadelphia last night in the 9th inning against Chase Utley and Raul Ibanez. Nats have him in mind in case Eric Hinsky pinch hits. Can Espinosa do it? No. Jason Hayward too fast. And now we could have a pitching change with Hinsky coming in and the Nats getting Slayton ready.
Well, he just got up, so this might have to be a little stall piece by the Nats to where Wilson Ramos and Ian Desmond and Espinosa all have a meeting on the mound. I think they're seeing if Yuneski Maya is okay. Trainers are going to come out. Lee Kuntz, Steve McCaddy, Davey Johnson, Trent Jewett, Bo Porter, Rick Eckstein.
And by the way, we want to wish an outstanding Nationals executive, Bob Wolf, our very best as Bob heads back to Atlanta where he worked for the Braves for many years.
It might have been where he hit the deck right there.
Yeah, he didn't want to get hit by a throw. But earlier tonight, the racing presidents held up a sign at the end that said, "We will miss you, Bob." And we just want to extend our best wishes to Bob and his family as Bob Wolf returns back to Atlanta after several very good years here in the Nationals front office. So they do hit for O'Flaherty here with Eric Hinsky Hinske on the year, 9 for 53 as a pinch hitter. Not a lot of hits, but 2 home runs and 6 RBIs, and Maya stays in to face him. Counts even, 1-1. Top of the order, Michael Bourne next.
Moving the ball around nice. In, out, up, down, good off speed. Some of the better stuff we've seen from Yuneski Maya this year. Good command, good tempo, and throwing all of his pitches for strikes in any count.
And a 1-2 with a setup on the corner. That's a strike 3 call. So Maya pitches 2 scoreless innings for the Nats. It'll be Worth, Espinosa, and then the pitcher spot in a 3-run game. Plenty of time left, but it's getting late against a very good, young, and effective Atlanta bullpen. Brandon Beachy for the Braves tomorrow. Beachy is 7-2 in 24 starts as a rookie. And the Nats will counter with the sinker ball artist Chin-Ming Wong, 3-3. He'll be making his 11th start of the year. And Wong gets seemingly better and better every time out. Nats Extra, 12:30. We join you from the booth at 1. First pitch, 1:05. The Nats and the Braves in Game 2 tomorrow. All right, here comes another one. Johnny Venters, 82 games, a 1.69 ERA, 85 innings, 93 strikeouts.
And that 82 appearances leads the majors, so his 83rd appearance. He's coming off his 4th blown save and 2nd loss Sunday against the Mets. He got out 2 runs on 2 hits. He also equaled a career high with 3 walks, so command has been an issue lately with Johnny Venters.
Braves get a little bit of good news from St. Louis, where the Cubs tied that game with a run in the top of the 6th inning. It came on a Carlos Pena double, scoring Darwin Barney. 1-1. Carpenter and Dempster dueling there. Jason Worth 1 for 3 with his 57th RBI.
And Venters with a power fastball. Sometimes a fastball cuts, sometimes it sinks. And I've seen it at times look like a 98-mile-an-hour changeup, to where it has that same action as a guy who's throwing a changeup.
Danny Espinosa is next. Then the pitcher spot. Nats have Steven Lombardozzi, Brian Bixler still available. Jesus Flores would be last on that list since they've already used Pudge. Those are the right-handed bats. And a 3-2 to Worth. Jason will just right it out of play to the right side. Looks like Steven Lombardozzi will get that call.
I would imagine if there's a couple of guys on, you're going to go with somebody that can pop a home run.
There's a long ball to left. See you later. Jason Worth with his 20th, and the Nats are back to within 2.
I'm telling you, partner, this isn't a video game. These relievers from the Braves have hit the wall. So good, so untouchable all season long, but when you get to your 83rd appearance, not a video game.
Well, we talked about how they've been keeping the ball in the ballpark, but not that time. Johnny Venters gives up only his second home run of the year in over 85 innings. So the Nats are not going down without a fight here.
Another good at-bat from Jason Worth.
And he reaches the 20 home run mark.
RBI single his last time, a home run that time.
Danny Espinosa is hitting .283 right-handed, and he will 2, now 3 hop it out to Jack Wilson for the first out.
Let's check out the home run one more time. Jason Worth on a 3-2 count fouled off a ball that might have been ball 4 to get to that pitch, a center cut fastball. And he likes it when I say center cut fastball for his 20th home run of the year. A bomb to left.
Steven Lombardozzi, 4 major league hits and RBI.
And this is where when you come off the bench and you're down by 2 runs, even though there's an out in the inning, Steven Lombardozzi has to think like a leadoff hitter. He's got to try to bring the tying run to the plate any way he can.
1 for 5 as a pinch hitter. Lombardozzi trying to drop one into right field, but Hayward, playing shallow, makes that grab. 2 outs.
Some pretty good at-bats right here against a guy that's been virtually unhittable all season long. And there's Steven Strasburg. After giving up 3 in the first, settled down nicely tonight. 1-2-3 second. Gave up a base hit to Uggla in the third. And a 1-2-3 fourth.
Here's Wilson Ramos with 2 outs and the base is empty. .96 from Johnny Venters. Henry Rodriguez for the 9th. Braves will have the top of the order up.
You see how that pitch went right there? 95 miles an hour, but he kind of got inside of it, and the arm angle is almost that of a changeup. If you weren't looking at the speed gun right here, watch the movement. You're thinking this is a changeup. See how it goes down and away from the right-handed hitter? I mean, that's more than a sinker. It's something that not a lot of lefties have. I mean, that's the action of a circle changeup that you see from some of the better left-handers with good changeups around the league. The only difference is it's 95 to 98.
And a 2-2 as he runs that one in there again. Nats would love to see Chris Marrero get up there here in the 8th. Leadoff Manny and Desmond just beyond that. Oh, then he goes breaking ball, almost not fair, and catches Ramos looking. The Nats continue to peck away, and in this case, blast away. 140th career home run for Jason Worth. One run closer, and they still need a couple more as we go to the top of the 9th inning. Braves 6, Nationals 4. MLB.com's At Bat 11. It's an app for your iPhone, iPad, Android, and BlackBerry, and it's live baseball. Follow the Nats wherever you go. Game day pitch-by-pitch tracking. In progress box scores and stats. Breaking news and searchable video highlights. You can text At Bat to 31826 or visit Nationals.com for details.
You can even broadcast a game and maybe keep track of some pennant race baseball on your computer.
Absolutely you can. If it's good enough for our stage manager, Joe Delpo, to stay up to date on Nats baseball, good enough for you. Joe just showed me his app. He hit one button and it came up in a hurry. We're watching 12 different games in the booth, by the way, right now.
But there's only one we care about.
First pitch, foul ball. Michael Bourne off to the left side against Henry Rodriguez, who 2 nights ago got his first major league and overall first professional save. Good for him.
You know what's great about that is when you get out of your comfort zone and you get into a save situation and you go back to your comfort zone, it doesn't seem like it's such a big deal anymore.
Yeah.
So you get out of, the 7th inning deal, or maybe a 6th inning appearance, or maybe even an 8th inning appearance. Now you walk on the mound, you get the last 3 outs of a Major League Baseball game, which are the toughest 3 outs to get, and then you go back to another situation to where it doesn't seem like it's that big a deal. And don't forget, this guy's only 24 years old.
Bourne will get his first base hit of the night on an 0-2 pitch. The good news is Henry had a hitter 0-2, not battling from behind. He sort of turned that part of his game behind. And FP, now that he's getting ahead of more guys, he'll have to learn that you can be patient before you have to get somebody out.
Yeah, I think when you overcome the thing of just trying to throw strikes and you get confidence in your ability to where now you're not just throwing strikes, you're throwing quality strikes. You don't have to be in such a hurry to get that third one.
Martin Prado's 1 for 4 tonight. Bourne in a 2-run game, a definite running threat here. He has stolen 1 base tonight and has 57. Prado shows bunt, pulls the bat back. It's a called strike.
Pete McCannon, the bench coach from the Phillies, who's a friend of mine, had an interesting take on Henry Rodriguez. He said if he can throw 3 strikes in 6 pitches, he will have an amazing career.
half the time.
Every 6 pitches, if he can throw 3 strikes, he said this guy is going to be dominant.
There goes Bourne. Good jump. Ramos cannot even attempt to throw. 58 for Michael Bourne.
Pretty good jump by Michael Bourne right here, and he is trying to get to 60.
Well, Michael Bourne, one of the great base stealers in recent years. Braves pick him up from Houston. Last year he stole 52. The year before that he went 61. Was only caught 12 times, and 41 the year before that. So he came into this season with 173 stolen bases, and he's up around 230 now. Great pitch by Rodriguez. Martin Prado, a one-handed swing to strike out.
When you break down a guy like Martin Prado with the power curveball that Henry Rodriguez has, I mean, that just tells you what kind of stuff he has, right? How many times do you see a big league hitter take a swing like that, and a good big league hitter? Betting fastball, get a curve, and that's that. And I said last time out, I decided to call the slider a curve. It's just a power curve.
It's too big.
It goes straight down.
Yeah.
It's usually has 12-6 break. And everything you read says fastball slider for Henry. That's a curveball.
Chipper wanted no part of that 99-mile-an-hour knee-high fastball. Chipper Jones 1 for 3, a base hit, a walk, and 2 runs scored. Braves trying to tack on a big run here. They've got the runner hung up. Rodriguez will run right at Bourne. Now running back to the bag. Probably threw it too early, because now Chipper gets to second. There are 2 runners at second base.
We got us a pickle.
So Zimmerman now will run Marrero. And Bourne slides into third. And now he's going to score because nobody's covering home plate.
Unbelievable.
I think the key to that whole thing, FP, was Henry Rodriguez got rid of the ball too quickly, and then everything broke loose.
You're absolutely right. You got to run right at the runner. Don't even pick a side. Go right at the middle of his chest. Make him commit, and then once he commits, you commit off him. But Michael Bourne, one of the fastest guys in the league, and that right there is where it went south. Now all of a sudden you got a fire drill going on.
1, 6, 5, 3, 4. And with Ramos at third base, nobody's home except the runner. And the Braves literally steal one at 7-4. The late, great Jack Buck once told me, kid, when you go to the ballpark, every night you're going to see something you've never seen before. Once again, he's right.
Well, it just goes to show you, we talk about it all the time, how speed kills and it makes everybody freak out. You get the fastest guy or one of the fastest guys in baseball on the bases, you're talking about a rundown. You'd like to do it in one throw, and then when you drop a throw, now all bets are off and anything can happen. The more throws you make in a rundown, the higher the likelihood that the runner's going to get out of it.
Brian McCann is next here in the night. Crowd still buzzing about what they just saw. And again, 1, 6, 5, 3, 4 to get Chipper Jones. And then Bourne scores. The ultimate fielder's choice for Atlanta. Their guy advances 180 feet.
I'll give Chipper Jones some credit too. Staying in that rundown long enough for Michael Bourne to score.
And a good cut by Ugla. Stays alive. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
give Brian Snitker some credit too. Third base coach for the Braves. Bourne was laying there on the ground. He's the one that saw nobody occupying home plate.
Yeah, he slid head first in the third. Ugla. Finally, the Nats get him on a line drive to Ryan Zimmerman. Braves pick up a run. That's huge. Craig Kimbrell coming in with a 3-run lead.
The night. Whose responsibility is to cover home plate in that rundown?
The catcher, Johnny, the guy that you throw to, he follows his throw. Marrero makes his throw. Whomever makes the throw toward Marrero continues to follow his throw, so he goes behind the throw that he just made, and the catcher just stays at home.
So the Braves have got a 3-run lead, which could have been a 2-run. Now it's a little tougher uphill battle from the bottom of the 9th inning.
Yeah, that's a tough play all the way around there. I think everybody gave the ball up too soon.
Right.
You get the runner started hard back to the base that he came from, and then you give the ball up. A lot of times this year, I have not seen our guys moving toward the ball. They're kind of at a standstill. Then they've got to make that up and try to catch the guy. If you're in a little bit of movement toward that runner, you can outrun him and overtake him.
Braves by 3 as we go to the bottom of the 9th and up to Bob and FP.
All right, Johnny, thank you, and thank you, Ray. Tall task indeed. Craig Kimbrell, he has blown 7 saves on the year, looking for number 46. And the Nats will have Marrero, who will be leading off in the number 9 spot, then the top of the order. Desmond and Gomes.
Yeah, just a power fastball, power slider from Kimbrell.
The Nats do have a couple of left-handed bats if they so choose, with Alex Cora and Roger Bernardino.
And Kimbrell having a wonderful rookie season. He ranks first in the National League in saves, second in the majors with his 45. But he allowed that 2-out solo home run to Lucas Duda on Sunday. His first home run allowed to a left-handed batter all season. And remember, he suffered his 7th blown save and 3rd loss when he allowed that 2-run home run to Omar Infante Monday in Florida.
Chris Marrero 0 for 2 with a ground ball to short and 1 to third. Chris Marrero was just in the big leagues for a couple of days. The last time the Nats visited Atlanta, he had joined the ball club on that road trip in Cincinnati. And Marrero with a great swing and a base hit to right. Chris continues to impress us with the way he goes the other way when necessary. And he's now 1 for 2 career against Craig Kimbrell.
He can hit just a 99-mile-an-hour fastball.
That's all.
That's all. Getting on top of it. And folks, that ball was roasted to right. Look at him, hands right to the baseball. Good short swing into the strike zone. And then after you make contact, get long for that backspin.
Now the Nats need another base runner. It's Ian Desmond. And then they will counter with a left-handed batter for Johnny Gomes. That's a fastball inside to Desmond, who's 2 for 4 tonight and has hit the ball well enough at least 3 times to get hits.
They had a feature story in the USA Today the other day, say that 10 times fast, about O'Flaherty, Venters, and Kimbrell.
Saw that.
And Kimbrell was the lead guy. And you look at him in his face, he looks all of about 13 years old. I know he's got the little goatee going down there. But look how young this guy looks. Look at the success he's having this early in his career.
When he gets the sign, he dangles that right arm out there like he's about to put you in a one-armed bear hug and crush you. Look at this.
He looks like he's smuggling sheep.
2 balls and 1 strike as he gets the outer half with that.
See, if you're in a field and you're going to steal a sheep, that's how you look. You just put it under your arm.
On a pitch up, Desmond has to hop all over it, a little bit late, and the count's 2-2. Okay. Desmond on a breaking ball, and that could be 2. Jack Wilson had trouble with it. Then it's dropped.
They always call that. That ball was not in his glove long enough. They always say he's getting it out, but I don't think he had that baseball.
They lost the rhythm on that play when Jack Wilson mishandled it. Davey Johnson will argue.
Let's take one more look at it. Is this on the transfer? Did he ever have control of that baseball? And I don't even know if he was on the bag. Check it out one more time in the Expo. The Expo might make it look like he has it because, you know, it's in super slow motion. But
not even close to making the exchange. Roger Bernardina now will be the pinch hitter.
See, even in slow motion, it doesn't look like he had it. But in Expo, it looked like he had it for like 20 seconds.
Roger Bernardina this year, 3 for 6 as a pinch hitter. Kimbrel locks him up with a breaking ball.
Betting fastball got a slider. Any way you can get on and get the tie-in run to the plate in the form of that guy, it's a good thing.
Roger Bernardina 0 for 1 career against Kimbrel. Zimmerman 0 for 2. And a good take by Roger to get the count in his favor.
3 sliders in a row from a guy that throws 99.
And a 2-1 fastball, 98.
Just a challenge heater on the inner half, and Roger couldn't get there. And not a lot of people can.
Two. And another breaking ball.
See, that's a good take. I'm swinging at that. Off a 98-mile-an-hour fastball. That slider looked like a strike for about 55 feet, broke off the table. So maybe Roger Bernardina bought himself a fastball here in a 3-2 count.
Bernardina foul tips it and barely stays alive. And a high fastball strikes him out.
Might have been ball 4, but when you're facing 98-99, not a whole lot of time to make up your mind. Up in the strike zone, Bernardino couldn't get on top.
Nats are down to their final out. It's Ryan Zimmerman trying to keep it alive for Morse. And Ian Desmond will go ahead and take second base. Braves will let him. Late breaking 89 mile an hour. And it's 0-2.
Dirty.
Gets away. No reason for Desmond to advance or try. Fastball up, 2-2.
Davey Johnson would love to get Michael Morse to the plate with Ryan Zimmerman on first.
Fastball ends the game, letter high. And the Braves get 3 in the first. Basically don't look back and beat the Nationals 7-4 in the first game of the weekend.
Pretty good job by the Braves bullpen tonight. After Tim Hudson got tired, it was O'Flaherty, Venters, and Kimbrel doing what they do.
Nationals strand 8 runners. Let's have a look at our Ford drive of the game.
Jason Worth with home run number 20 off Johnny Venters. He got a high fastball, got on top of it. Pretty good swing. And he will take it. 20 home runs for Jason Worth, and that's our Ford drive of the game.
Well, the Nats had a tough hill to climb tonight. They couldn't get back from 3 in the first, and the Braves led all the way as they win at 7-4. Now, at the moment, they have a 2.5 game lead in the wild card race. For FP Santangelo and Debbie Taylor, Bob Carpenter will be back with you tomorrow afternoon at 1:05. It'll be Chin Ming Wong for the Nats. This has been a presentation of Masson. Nats Extra coming up from the ballpark and from the booth. So long for just a while.